the activities are going on. So with an intention of implementing these 17 goals. So definitely, this Sustainable Development Goal 2030 is called Agenda to the 2030. So the Agenda for Sustainable Development 2030 is adopted by United Nations member state, the countries coming under UN, United Nations. So provide a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. So not only now, the future also is designed with this sustainable development, 17 sustainable development goals. So in 2013, the General Assembly set up a 30-member open working group to develop a proposal on SDGs. So that, the Sustainable Development Goal 17 were developed gradually. So in January 2015, the General Assembly began the negotiation process on the post 2015 development agenda. The process culminated in the subsequent adoption of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development with 17 SDGs at its core at the UN Sustainable Development Summit in September 2015. So in 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals 17 were developed. So with that, that was aimed to 2030. So within that 2050 and 2030, between the 15 years, the number of goals so are to be designed to achieve. So the main intention of the countries who are coming under UN, almost 90, I can say 98% of the countries in this world coming under UN. So with that United Nations guidance, all countries are taking effort, taking initiatives to develop the Sustainable Development Goals 17. So before the Sustainable Development Goals initiation, so there were some activities in the future, so which were develop the things to make all the countries and the people in this world so effective and efficient. That made the way to develop this 2030 sustainable development goals. For example, I can say in 1992 Earth Summit in Brazil, it was called Agenda 21. So this is one of the most important summit. It was introduced in Brazil in 2000 in 1992. So this was one of the initiative activity for this sustainable development goal 2030. Then again, I can tell that 2000 in 2000 MDC Millennium Development Goals. Definitely, that Millennium Development Goals uh, is playing a major role in the formation of Sustainable Development Goal 20 and 30. So that is the main part of this uh, agenda to this 20 and 30. So this is a small introduction for 2030 agenda. So these 17 Sustainable Development Goals 20 and 30. So are coming under four main types. So you can see the four main pillars. So these pillars are the social related, human related, economic related, and environmental related. For example, if you see the goal number 1 to 3, like 1 to I can show you that later. Goal number 1 to 3 comes under social related goals, and that human related goals and economic related goals and environmental related goal. Here we are in the we are with the reducing inequalities. So reducing inequalities maybe that may come under that human related pillars. So these are the four main pillars uh, explain about that 17 sustainable goals. The all 17 sustainable goals come under sorry three these four main pillars. So here you can see the 17 goals. Here I have seen here. You can see this picture. With this picture, you can get the idea. So goal number 1 to 17. Here we are in the goal number 10, reduced inequalities or reducing inequalities. So as I told you that four main pillars, we can divide these 17 sustainable goals under four main pillars. So you can do that, and the goal number one, the pillar number one will come under first to that 5, and then 6 to 7, 6 to 8, 9, the second one, like we can divide it into four pillars. Right, the main part is the goal 10, reduce inequality. So to reduce inequalities within and among countries. So the how not only with a single person or a single family or a single area or a single village. It is among the countries, among within the countries. So how we are going to reduce inequalities? That is the main part. If we reduce the inequalities only, the remaining 16 sustainable development goals will be achieved. So if we don't have equality in the society, in the place where we are working, in the place where we are sending our children to educate, so never anything never happened. Not only the sustainable development goals, the world's unity will be dissolve. So that is the main point. That's why this that UN and the countries, all the countries and the people are giving more priority to the goal number 10. So with giving priority to other goals, this goal number 10 is given priority more by all the countries and the people. So taking initiatives to develop these 17 goals. So now let me to tell about what is inequality. So before knowing inequality, we should know what is equality. So equality is the word is the word against to inequality. No, inequality is the word against to equality. To both are the positive and the negative part. So if there is no equality, which is called inequality. For example, in a country or in a family, in a place where we are working, if there is no equality, it is called that place practicing the inequality status. So you can see, according to Development Strategy and Policy Analysis Unit 2015, sorry, inequality, the state of not being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities, is a concept very much at the heart of social justice theories. So, what does it mean? So, not being equal. So, in what kind of things we are not being equal? Maybe status, rights, and opportunities that we are getting. So, this is a definition for inequality. So you can see that inequality are determined by the factors, various factors. So normally people understand, and as we also understand that if there is inequality, we just think it comes under only income related factors. Not only income related factor. Not I am rich, you are poor, I am rich. So this is only not. Inequality. So inequality comes under different various factors. For example, gender related factor, age related, origin. Then I will show this is. Then we can say ethnicity related factor. Then furthermore, yes, education related, very important, education related factor, class related factor, religion related, disability, sexual orientation. These all factors play a role in the concept of inequality in the society, among the society, among the countries. So not only income, not only education, not only class, not only religions. So everywhere is inequality spread out, right? This may be definitely a drawback for the development of countries in developing our special qualities and in various things, you can say. So how do inequalities affect this, maybe the society, maybe an individual person, maybe all countries in this world? How do inequalities affect? So the economy. First thing is economy. So economy is no, as we know, is a spine of country development. So as it is a spine of country development, if there is no equality in the way of developing the economy of a country, definitely that country will go down. Definitely that country will face a lot of problems. And even this COVID time also making a lot of issues. Some countries are still under lockdown, so they are struggling to develop their economy in the country. Now that I can tell you the North Korea is facing a lot of problems in developing their income and like, what can I say, the economic related factors. So yesterday, the president of North Korea, he publicly mentioned that North Korea will face the huge famine in coming recent years because of this COVID time. So maybe that inequality also may be one reason for that. If you think in North Korea is they don't normally they don't balance with other countries. Maybe they are the neighboring countries and the very close countries and the countries normally doing that uh, the business activity with North Korea, they don't balance with them. They always getting struggle and they just dominate the countries. This kind of activities are there in North Korea. That's why that country now facing this kind of challenge, the huge famine in recent years, definitely. So we all hope that will be reduced by the activity of the government. Anyway, that is one thing I can say you as an example, that economy related factors. So definitely the inequality will affect the economy. Then education, the education. So what we developed the concept education for all in 1990 by United Nations. It was developed by education for all. But now we are not sure about whether we are practicing the concept or not. Still, we are having that inequality factors in education. No, as I am coming from the education side background, I know what kind of inequality activities are taking place. If you go for some countries where the women are not equal for men, so they are struggling to get their education. So up to top level, but men are okay. They can go for study further and further. But in countries, women they are facing a lot of struggle. That is one way of inequality in offering the education. But we are telling the education for all. That is the world statement in the process of education. So that's one point. If you think the education for the resources, so in allocating the resources for all the in the field of education, we are just having that inequalities. So we just focus on some places. We just select the places and the things that which are very very close to us. very familiar to us, we just give them the resources, but we don't think about the other countries or other people. So they also want to develop their qualities and develop their educational status. So that is also one. You see, in some African countries, if you go, if you might have heard about that. There are still inequality factors are there in the resource allocation, and so many factors, so many things I can tell in education. Then culture also inequality definitely affects the culture. So if there is an inequality in a country, practicing inequalities, so the culture will be definitely destroyed. So we can't protect our potentials that comes through people to people, society to society. Definitely, that everything will be dissolved. So because of this concept inequalities. So religion is also destroyed by the concept inequalities. So some people, they follow their religion, and they follow different their religions. If you go the multi-religious country, normally if you think about Asian countries, I'm also from Asia. So if you think about Asian countries, they are almost all most of the countries in Asia multi-religious countries. So they follow different religions, but because of this different religious concept, so there are the inequalities factors are taking place. There are the people and the government and some religions who have the majority of influences, or the people, they are just dominating the other religious people, and they are just pushing them to follow their religions. And these kind of activities are taking place in the society, among the society. If you think, I can tell, even in my country here, my country is, we are different, we are practicing different religions. So maybe three religion: Hinduism and Buddhism and Christianity and Islamic. There are four different religions. Even in under Christianity, there are different divisions. So we have more than nearly around five religions. But though we are practicing and following the religious factors, I can tell there are some inequalities. So inequalities are being practiced when they take a priority in the society, when they have the opportunity in the society, among the society. So there are inequalities, definitely. These all will be reduced to achieve the goal, 2030 agenda. As Sri Lanka also is one of the country in the United Nations, and following the rules and regulations, all rules and regulation of UN. So then religion and the technology. Definitely, the technology is a factor in maintaining and in practicing the inequalities. For example, now you see, you compare the technology with education. Now we all are under technology-based education. We are we are teaching, we are learning, we are doing everything. We are contacting with people. We are doing everything via technology. But the problem is whether this technology is equal to all. Some countries, for example, in Sri Lanka, nearly, according to the statistics of education side people, education related people, so nearly 60% of people are not eligible to learn via technology. Only 40% are eligible. They have the facility in learning via technology. So what is going to happen for the 60%? They are coming from a village side. They are poor, they are little poor. So little poor people. So what is going to happen? That is the point here. In near, definitely in 20 years back, in coming 20 years, we will definitely feel the importance of technology in education. We will take over all activities in education via technology, even teaching, assessment, learning, doing the classes, and everything will be practicing via technology. So what is going to happen? Those who are not eligible to adapt the technology facility among the society, personally or in the society level. Not only Sri Lanka, even if you go to any other countries also, they are struggling. They don't have that facility. They are still facing a lot of problems. Because of that reason, they drop the school. They go for work. They are abused. So these factors are taking place. So technology expansion is also one of the factor, and inequality affects this factor technology expansion, especially especially when we relate technology with education, right? Where do inequality happens? This is a point. Where do inequality happens? First, I can say the family level. So if you think a family, there are inequalities. There are disparity among family. Also, there are disparity. So father and mother and children, they give priority to one person, not other person. So there are that is the root point of inequality. Right. Second thing, if you go for school, the school level, there is inequality. There are also inequalities. For example, that in school level, as I told you, that resources allocation, and the caste problem, and the religious problem, and the ethnicity problem, all will come under school level. So in the school also, the people and the students who are willing to learn, to follow their education, facing problems, the inequalities problem in the schools. Then workplace also, that very important. Very importantly, I can tell that disparity, gender equality. So gender equality is the problem in the workplace. So no, the almost in everywhere, the the more percentage of women are going work than men. No, the educational level and the working rate is more. The women have more rate than men. So that is also the gender equality is the problem in the working place. Then society, these all will come under society level also, the community level also, we are having that inequality problems. So the inequalities, disparities takes place in these level of societies, that is family, school, workplace, and society. The society is the main point here, right? Inequality in education. So definitely, as I am coming from that side, so I have to tell about that inequality in education, how inequalities are being practiced in education related factors. So educational inequality is the unequal distribution of academic resources, including but not limited to school funding, qualified and experienced teachers, books, and technologies to socially excluded communities. As I told you, that unequal distribution of resources, that may be that human resource or physical resource. So as everywhere, in all the countries, that inequalities in education is being practiced. Because of that, educational level of the country and the literacy rate of the country is going down because of this factor. So inequality in education is practiced in various ways. So women education, here women education is a problem. So women, uh, they are getting a lot of problems in studying and exposing their talents and skill in various fields. They face challenges to continue their further studies. But okay, there are some countries giving more priority for women in continuing their studies, but still some Asian and African countries are practicing this factor. They have some mythical concept that women, okay, they have to learn up to this level. After that level, they don't need to learn, so they don't need to go for work. So they have to be as a family girl or family man. They have to take care of the family, and those are the things happening. But men are, they are giving, they are getting more priority. They are being given more priority to learn and work, go everywhere, and like something, right? Then reduce resource allocation. As I told, resource allocation also one of the factor which carries which carry the inequalities in education. Technology expansion, I explained that also. Technology expansion is the point. Now we are practicing, now we are everywhere in every school. Now almost millions of students affected due to this COVID pandemic. Now all are required to continue our education or to teach or learn through technology. So how the technology is going to be effective and efficient to all of them, this world, all of the students, even some, if you go some African, North African, East African countries, so they don't have such facility. So how, even not only African countries, even Asian countries also, as I told you, 40% of students are not equal to continue their studies via technology. They don't have that facility. So even Europe countries also, some Europe countries also have this kind of challenges. Job opportunity. After getting the job, how we are going to get the opportunity for job? So definitely there may be inequalities, right? The gender equality will come into that. If you are a man, so you will easily get a job, but if you are a woman, you will face some problems in getting the job because of your rules and restriction, because of the restriction made by the society and the family background, caste, religion, culture, whether from where you are coming, which country, which, whether Asian or African, Europe, like blah blah blah. So there are so many problems in the education, in the concept of inequalities in education. Then gender, I already mentioned that the gender disparity. So the gender disparity also one of the reason in maintaining the inequalities in education, the causing a lot of challenges. So goal number 10, reducing inequality. So now the considering all the factors, all the things, all the challenges, problems, UN have planned and taken initiatives to reduce inequalities among and within and among the countries. How this goal will be achieved? So what are the activity will be taken to reduce the inequality among the society? Here definitely we have to think about when we are going to reduce inequality uh, as a common in this world. So we should know and we should take more initiatives to reduce this kind of inequality factor among the society. So when we go for society, so we should know the agents of society. So if there is a society, there is a concept socialization. So socialization is a factor. so which carry that inequality and all the factors, people to people and society to society. So when we make the changes among the agents of society who are important in the socialization factor, right? So if you think the agents of socialization, first we have to make changes from family, then peers, then school level, then mass media. That mass media level, we should make awareness and changes, and working place and the religions. These all will come under social agents of socialization. So definitely UN will take initiatives to implement this goal number 10. So through developing, through passing the knowledge and the things that they want to make changes in this world, through these kinds of socialization agents. Right. How will goal 10 be achieved? As I told you, from individual responsibility, just going for the society, from society, the government. So these three things are very important in achieving that goal number 10. First, individual responsibility, and society and the government. If individual, as we are individual, if we don't think about that concept, inequality and the equality, how we have to follow equality, and how we have to really this should remove that concept inequality, so definitely the goal will not be achieved in future. Then society, the role of society. So when we go for society, we have to think about the agents of society, so socialization, agents of socialization. Then the government. So government's role is very important. When government take accents in developing the concept equality. So apart from inequality, so they should take more initiatives. Okay. So this is the idea that I wanted to explain with you on this goal number 10, reducing inequalities, and how that concept inequalities so will be achieved in the future. What does it mean? So what type of importance are being given to this goal number 10 among the countries, and what will happen in future if we follow the correct accurate things in developing the goal number 10 among all the countries. So I hope you have got some ideas from me. Uh, you would have a good time with my presentation. So if you have any question, you can ask. And thank you again, once again, thank you very much for this opportunity, for the people and the organizers and all the respective speakers, and especially to all of them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us from the land of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. And your presentation, you talked about the inequalities is the root of social evil. You quoted this.
Yes.
So, and you also said about that inequality is the state of not being equal. Actually,
Mm.
you defined what is the meaning of inequality. Also, you told about the how the inequalities affect, where do inequalities happen, and you also mentioned the agents of the sociality action. So, sir, it's a really we are really feel a great honor to have you. Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much to join us, and all the best for your professorship also.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And going ahead, I would like to call our next speaker, and she is an international training and a development expert, a charming lady, Anjani Tiwari. So, Anjani ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I am. I've been waiting eagerly.
Yeah. Actually, ma'am, first we would like to know more about you. So, please
Yeah,
introduce yourself, ma'am.
of course. Well, but first things first. So thank you so much, Dr. Supriya Pathak. I'm really glad that you people invited us me here today, and I'm able to present my views on this wonderful, actually, a topic which is taking world by the storm, I should say, that is reduced inequalities. So, talking about myself, my name is Anjani Tiwari, and as ma'am has already told a bit about me, I'm into the profession of training, soft skills. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a public speaker, I'm a motivator, I'm an IELTS trainer as well. So there are so many things I've been doing apart from this. This Corona pandemic, I should say, has actually let me explore different areas of my own talent. I'm sure many of you would have got this opportunity as well. So what I figured out in this time is that I'm even able to come up with content creating, which I have did for some of the companies, some of the IT companies, some of the product website development sites and other stuffs. And I'm really glad I'm able to do it. Then I'm also into signature science analysis. It is a wonderful concept. It's a wonderful thing, wherein you are able to analyze, realize, understand about a person, looking into the signatures of that person. Apart from that, I'm a parenting coach as well. And this particular area has been opened up in front of me during this pandemic time itself. So I think since I'm from India, and we have the saying here in Hindi, we say it is like आपदा या फिर विपत्ति में अवसर, which means figuring out opportunities in crisis. And I think this particular time has let me do it. So, yeah, that's it from my side. That's it about me. Thank you so much for listening patiently. Now, I would directly like to come on the topic, which is reduced inequalities. And this happens to be goal 10. Now, I would like to start my particular discussion, my views on this topic with one of the very famous quotes, which I've been learning, which I've been implementing since my childhood. And it says, all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs. So it is pretty much applicable. It is true, but I am really in dilemma when it comes to implementing this particular code in different circumstances. Now, I don't want to, come up with really big terms like giant things, concepts, because I know all my talented uh, fellow speakers, they are going to come up with pretty amazing ideas, which is gonna, cover up the entire things from global, from like a platform of global, from different countries, from different places. I want to tell you about the life of a labor couple, a couple who happens to be a labor. Now, this particular family, it is, and what I'm going to tell it is the majority of the population of the labor class population who happens to be in India. I'm sure this must be pretty much the scenario in abroad as well. So, when I start about this, it is like both of them are working in the same workplace, that is in a construction site. And let me tell you that they both are treated unequal for equal and more efforts, I should say. Right? What hell? Like I would really like to tell you the heights of inequalities happening. Now, the lady of the house, right, among the couple, the husband and the wife, the lady of the house, the wife of the this man, she wakes up at 5 in the morning. Now, once she's awake, she would directly rush to her daily routine. She has to, it's like every day it's a target. Every day it's a target, like finishing up all the course, struggling. She struggles actually to finish up all the course, putting up all her energy. So she wakes up in the morning. First thing she does is do her own personal routine stuff. Then she would rush to the kitchen. She would actually, like get the kitchen clean, get the entire house clean. She would cook for the entire family. After cooking, she would actually do the dishes. She would then, look up to her, take care of her children, would serve breakfast and other stuff to every other family member. Now, while she's doing all these things, her husband would just get up, right? He would get ready and he would eat the breakfast, which is already being prepared by the wife. Now, again, this wife, once he's ready, this lady would rush to the kitchen. She would prepare the tiffins for children, would send them away, and then she would again prepare tiffins, two more tiffins for herself and her husband. Her husband would, just walk along with her to the construction site. Now, they would go there, they will work, they have to, pick up equal number of sacks of things, for the construction, which is required for the construction. Now, once they are done, once in the noon, as it's noon, so the lady of the house, she would rush to the home, while the man, he would, sometimes would go to home, sometimes would, chill out there at the construction site itself. He would take his lunch and would take a nap usually, or even if that goes to home, he does the same. But this lady, she has to rush home. She has a target again. She has to complete her targets, which is being assigned. So here she has been doing it in a similar fashion. So this lady again would go to home. She would feed all the other family members, serve food for them. She would then feed. She would breastfeed actually her toddler, who is being left with the in-laws for taking care since she has to go to work as well. She would breastfeed them. She would hurriedly take her lunch, whatever is left actually, because that is how generally it happens. This is the majority case, and it's not just with the middle class; it's with most of the families also. Now she would have her lunch, and she would again rush to the construction site. At the same time, her husband, he would have just, woke up. He would have woke up and they both will again start working. Now it's evening. The sun has actually, it has gone down. Now both of them at the time of receiving the wages, the husband would receive more than the wife. Why? Because she's a woman, right? She's a woman. So she will receive lesser than what her husband will receive, but she will accept it with all the contentment, even though she's literally not tired, but still the happiness on her face when she receives her wages. They both would return to the home. They will then, again, the man of the house, and she's like, they have been working, so the man is really tired. He would just, lay down, or he would just play with children or whatever. He would just chill out, like smoking or fagging or whatsoever. The lady of the house, she has to rush to the kitchen again, since everybody is hungry by now already. She would then again cook food. She would clean the house. She would clean all the mess up made by other family members and her toddler also. Now, after that, she will again feed all of them. She would serve and feed. She would serve and feed the husband, the children, the kids, the in-laws, everything. She will now do the dishes. She will again do arrange the home well, and then again she will eat whatever is left from other family members. Now, this is the same routine. After all this, uh, next morning she has to again wake up, struggling doing the course. No matter what her physical condition is, it doesn't matter, but she is the lady of the house. So she has to do it. And it's not like that she's the only lady of the house. There are other ladies as well, but she being the, the daughter-in-law, the youngest friend, she has to do it like that. Now, again, they are repeating the same cycle the next day. After all these things, when this is happening every day, maybe someday, once in a while, she falls ill. When she falls ill, she's not able to do all the chores the way she has been doing for quite a long time. At this time, also, she is being made feel guilty, right? That you're not doing things the way you should do. Things are getting hampered. The process has become it's not smooth. The process is disturbed, since the work is piling up. You're not coming to the construction side. You're not able to aid up to the income of the family. Now you tell me, who is actually working more or less. she's being told that you are feeble, like you're really weak. You fall ill. Come on, you're doing just this little bit of work and you're falling ill every now and then. So she's made guilty even for that. And she actually believes that, yeah, that's her, like, what should I say? Just one of the negative points. She's not able to do things that way. So this is something, I don't know where else the height of inequality could go, actually. Now, if you look into this particular case, actually, this has been a case study. I think I just feel it's like a case study what I've been narrating from. So, what do you think? What all are the kinds of inequalities are happening? I'm sure the thing that would be coming to your mind is gender inequality, isn't it? So, at first, even I felt it's gender inequality, but if you really look closely into this particular case, it's not just the gender inequality. There are so many things, there are so many points actually having a deep role there, a role of so many things aiding up, contributing to this particular scenario. Now, if we talk about this inequality thing, like what this particular our goal is about, so this thing doesn't start suddenly. In fact, I would say that it has been since 1990s. It has been since 1990s that the income gap has been widening at an enormous pace, and specifically about the income part, I would say, between the rich and the poor. So, setting the goals targeting the elimination of inequalities, which direly needs, which actually direly needs the inclusion of social, political, economic, and personal efforts also. So, inequalities are basically based upon the age, income, sex, disability, sexual orientation, religion, classes and opportunity, and I'm sure you would have now guessed more than one of the kinds of inequalities which has been actually happening, which could actually seem to be prevalent in the life of this couple. I shouldn't say couple, actually the entire family. And let me tell you, the inequalities which I mentioned about, you just fail to achieve one of these, you just fail to overcome one of the inequalities, and I'm telling you, Sustainable Development Goal 10, it is doomed. It is doomed actually, because you won't be able to achieve this goal when you skip even one of those. So, coming back to the life of this labor couple, it's not just the gender inequality which is like actually pretty much visible. It is other factors also influencing. One of the very important one is the educational inequality. Do you think if this lady would have been really educated, if she was well educated, if she would have have knowledge maybe of technical aspects or something as an arts or whatsoever, would she had to suffer this life, this kind of sufferings which she has been into her life for long? I don't think so. If she would have known, I can work, I can go for a dignified job, or even if she was confident enough to run her own organization of something, don't you think her life could have been better? Secondly, it's not just her fault, it's not just the husband's or the in-law's fault, it's equally the fault of her parents also, who did not strengthen her, who did not, put enough confidence in her that, girl, you can do much better, you can have a better life. They didn't give her that support which she was entitled to receive, being the child of the parents. So there are so many things which are playing an active role. Now, when I blame the parents, I actually should not just blame the parents. If the parents would have known that there are these many rights entitled for us, there are these many funds, kinds of funds I'm entitled to receive, and I can get these things if I, approach things in this manner. If they would have received funds allotted for them, if they would have got a better ambience, if they could have actually been treated well by the society, by the people who belong to maybe an upper class, things would have been different. So I shouldn't be actually blaming the parents only. I shouldn't, I mean, I'm not pointing out on a particular entity or the government or officials or anything like that, but I'm just trying to, bring your focus onto things, onto the minutest of the details, that it's not just the things the way they seem, they actually are, you know. So there are so many things behind working backstage of a particular situation. So you see, there's a link. It's not just the mother, it's not just the lady, it's not just the husband, it's not just the in-laws, it's not just the parents, it's not just the government. It's about everybody, everybody and anybody related to you, to the society, and to each other. I should say each other, everybody in this world, because the way we, whatever we think, whatever we do, it has an impact on the life of people, even we might not be thinking, we might not imagine. So I should say that whatever is being done, suppose when you are going for your own work, maybe you bribe, maybe you figure out some way, maybe you will, find out someone, uh, someone to recommend you for something. What you are actually doing is you are hampering the growth of someone else. Again, now, when I say that this lady, if she would have known her potential, just tell me, she's been, cooking, cleaning, doing everything in the house. She's been doing the laundry, she's been doing the cooking, she's been taking care of the family, she's been doing all these things. Just tell me, if she, instead of doing everything together, if she would have, simply opened up a restaurant, she could have been an entrepreneur. Don't you think so? Since she has such great energy, stamina, she has already built up. Maybe it's forcefully being built up in her, whatsoever the condition, whatsoever the cases. But the truth is that, yes, she has this much of stamina developed in her. And let me tell you guys, when a breastfeeding mother, she is pretty much vulnerable. She's weak, she's hungry, she's in pain, but still she carries on with everything else. She does all the other job, domestic chores. She goes to the work, she works there, she takes care of the family. Can you even imagine what is actually her mental and physical state when she's going through all of these things? Me myself being a mother, I can totally understand that it is just not easy. It's really, it's pathetic. She's in a pathetic state, but she's handling everything so very well. And it's not just the gender equality, friends, it's so many things, so many factors influencing her life, making her live that life in a similar fashion. Now, what's more about this? When this lady, who has been put into this situation for years and years, probably for her entire life, what do you think she's gonna teach her children? Or I should say, there's not even a need to teach. What do you think her children has been seeing and adopting? Because children adopt everything they see around them. It's not necessary that you should put it, you should feed it in their ears, you should put this in their minds. They would actually absorb it from their surroundings. So this lady who has been in this state, she would actually, treat even her daughter-in-law in a similar fashion. She would actually do the same thing because that is what she knows. That is what how she has been into. That is how her mind has trained now. Now, just not the daughter-in-law. Her daughter, when she gets married, she might be treated in a similar fashion. And when she will come up with, sharing the difficulties she is facing, the answer she would receive is, girl, I've been into the same thing. This is our fate. Yeah, I have actually heard people talking in this way to their children. I've heard ladies, and not just the labor class, ladies from, like really prominent personalities, their children, their kids, their wives, they would actually, uh, train the minds of the children, of the daughters, especially of the house, that, yeah, that's our fate. This is how we have to deal with the things. And there are, it's not about just India, but yeah, there are many places wherein there has been put certain restrictions for a specific uh, part, a member of the family, wherein this particular fella has to, lead this particular life in this particular way. Why? Because it is the fate of that person. That is how this person is supposed to be. Why, man? Why do that? Come on. If you really know your rights, if you are strengthened from inside, from your parents, from your society, from your like whoever you actually get influenced with, don't you think you will come up with a better life? You would actually, take your like people who are related to you to a better place. And it is said that when a man is educated, when a man learns something, a man learns something. But when a woman, when she learns something, when she is educated, when she knows, when she learns, when she has the knowledge, an entire generation uh, moves ahead. An entire generation goes ahead. It moves towards further more betterment as compared to anybody else who has to go out and work. So I really feel that it's just not about the gender part. It's about education. It's about opportunities. It's about like the society, what has been happening since ages, since generations. So everything you do has an impact. It's all I would say. Now, yeah, a man educated is a man educated. A woman educated is a fan. Okay, I just lost the chat window. Yeah, I would really like to leave it. The man educated is a man educated. A woman educated is a family educated. Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much, sir, for putting up in structured format. Yeah, so that is what I was talking about. Now, apart from this thing, it's not just about the women or the ladies. It's about everybody else who is feeble, who might be considered as feeble, or sometimes when who's not contributing to the family. Now, there are so many people, there are so many families in which the senior citizens, the elder members, the grandparents, they might not be treated well. And when I say not treated well, the situation becomes really pathetic, becomes really terrible, I should say, horrific, I should say. They are not, given food on time. Sometimes they are not even given food at all. Maybe the leftover food. Such things happen, and they're even, kept deprived of the basic human needs, as in even sanitization. Even they are being bathed. I shouldn't say this. I really feel bad, but they are forced to bathe with the water left from the laundry, from the dishes being washed. Yes, certain things comes to the news. Why? Because they are useless. They are not contributing to the family. They are not, you know, um, coming up with money, as in like monetary terms. They are not coming up with money wherein the family could actually come up. They could actually fulfill the needs or the demands, or they could go ahead. This is what they think. Now, just not this case. This is about the senior citizens, the grandparents, the elder members who have become outdated as per the mentality of the people who are treating them ill. Now, another case wherein talking about the disabled ones, inequality because of being disabled. I have heard that the term disabled, instead of saying people come up with posts like even I have did it, even I have shared it a lot, that please don't call handicapped or disabled, please say specially abled. I promoted this idea myself, but now when I see around, when I see things happening around, what I see is we actually make fun of such people when we actually praise them with words like specially able. You are special. You are specially able. What we are doing in return? How like at what pace or at how much what level? How vast or great a level has this actually been happening? It might be happening with some of the prominent personalities who are, coming on stage, which are actually getting a limelight, a spotlight. What about rest of the people who are, I wouldn't say especially able, who are handicapped, who are not able to, uh, do things which are the basic things a person does every day. They are not even able to do it for themselves, and they are actually depend on, they are relying on somebody else for the same thing. they're badly treated. So simply saying specially abled, you're not making them special. I would like to come up with high praise, or highly I would like to appreciate one of this particular chains, food industry from Indore. The name is Apna Sweets. Once I visited this place, and what I saw is that the cashier of the place is like, yeah, the queue for this thing counter, for the cash counter, was a bit, a bit long, not too much, but a bit long. So I was like, I just got, a bit pissed off. Ki, I have to run. And this fella, I mean, I don't know what's happening, why he's getting late or something like that. I just peeped into the cash counter, and what I saw is that there is a person who is disabled, and he's doing things. And then suddenly one more fella came. He just came, and he started doing things for him, because I don't know, it was the reel of the bill or something which has fallen down, and he was not able to pick it up. That's why this queue has got extended. And let me tell you, once another fella who just rushed, he picked it up, he put it in that billing machine. He just doing it in such fast track of version. I was astonished. Suddenly, this long queue, it vanished within, a minute, which does not happen even in the supermarkets and malls. I'm sure you would agree. So it's just, a touch of help, a touch of support, a little bit of support from us to such people, and they will astonish us the way I got astonished. So when you do those things, when you are actually putting up efforts to help such people, yes, do call them specially abled. But if you are doing nothing, you are simply sharing the posts, you are simply saying great things, good things, which which are, like good to the ears, which are pleasure to hear, which are pleasant to hear, please don't do that. You are not making any difference, you're not helping it. But if you come up with very small steps, come on, just picking up a roll of paper and handing it over to the fella, did it really require great amount of efforts? Nothing. It didn't require to do anything. He just picked it up, had it over, and he took that thing like as an expert, and the queue got vanished. So this is just as being needed, a touch of support, a little bit of support from your side, and such people, they will rock in their professions. Now, there are so many people who are actually, coming up with things, as in like putting up efforts. I wouldn't say the names right now, but yes, there are certain efforts when you put up, you can actually help people, thereby supporting, achieve the goal 10, that is reducing the inequalities. Yeah, so that was all about from my side. I would end my presentation, my oral presentation, with the quote which I started. That is, all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumb. Just please implement this code carefully. That's it from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening patiently. And I'm really glad today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anjani ma'am. Thank you very, very much. You enlighten us lots of means actually the facts which are happening in our society, and we have to means think on this critical issues. As you says that yes, the all thumbs are fingers, but all fingers are not thumb, and we are totally agree with your thoughts. You actually means focused on the gender equality. You also focused on the means handicapped, especially abled, and these kinds of words also. And I would like to also means mention here that according to the sustainable development goal 10, there is a inequalities there is a inequalities in the society, and we have a target which is known as equal opportunities and discrimination. So you somehow you related your presentation, your speech, with these two targets, equal opportunities and discrimination. So thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us and for enlightening us with lots of issues. Thank you very much. And in the next row, I would like to call our next speaker, our eminent speaker. He is Brigadier Sushil, soldier turned educator, board member of Association of Experiential Education, and he is a keynote and a TED speaker, facilitator, author, and experiential educator. And he has served the Indian Army for 34 years. And since 2004, he is contributing to the corporate and education world. So, Brigadier Sushil, I would like to request you, please please start, please go ahead, and please enlighten us with your wonderful thoughts and with your amazing experience.
Thank you very much, Dr. Supriya. Thank you, and thanks to all from Rabia Bhatia to get me on this platform, to Tagore, Shiksha Mahavidyalaya, to Witty Gossip, and all organizers for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. Uh, uh, my screen sharing is not starting. Just a second. It happens earlier also.
So you
Just
are a co-host. You are a
no,
co-host.
I
So
know there is something gone wrong. Just give me a second, and I think it will be okay now. Uh, okay, I'll have to do it again. This does happen a couple of times. I think there is a hardware problem. Okay, so is my screen visible now?
yes, sir, yes, sir, this is visible. Make a slideshow. Yeah, yes, sir, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning and welcome to today's session. I am going to make a little effort in coming to the point of inequality, and let's see various aspects of it. Now, first, I must introduce myself, although Supriya has done a bit of it. I'm a soldier turned educator, and all that happened in my life when I was pursuing a wonderful, brilliant army career. As chairman, Army Public School Bareilly from 2002 to 2004, I was presented a scroll on which 800 children had written a thank you note, and that changed my life. I realized that my purpose of life was now to do something for children. I have served on the board of Association of Experiential Education, which is in USA, from 2010 to 2013. I've done experiential learning boot camps for 160 principals during the period 2008 to 2014. It was my dream project when I conducted a 1 year long teachers training at Tapti Valley International School and really made a difference in transforming those 62 teachers that underwent that program. I have been a chair of the International Affiliation Group of AEE from 2010 to 2013. I've conducted experiential education programs in 5 Indian schools in Kuwait in May 2014. I've also had the pleasure of addressing 60 school principals on experiential learning in Pune in 2009, and I have conducted a program of college to corporate, which was a signature program preparing students for life and not for a job or not for exams. This was done at the international conference at Florida, and I was the first Indian to perform on that platform. Now we are talking of goal number 10, which is reducing inequality within and among countries. But before I go to inequality, I just want to for all of us to pay a little attention and look at what is equality, because I'm going to be able to talk about inequality if I understand what is equality. And when I know equality, I must also compare it with equity. What is equality and what is equity? Let me explain this with the help of a picture, of an image, and here we see what is equality versus equity. Now, this is equality. In equality, what happens is you give the same resources or same opportunities to everyone. So, here there are three boxes available, and there are three children. All three children have been given equally the resources. Whether those resources are helping the objective being cleared or not, or objective being achieved, is not met by this equality, which means you gave everyone one box each, but the person on the left, the boy in the light blue shirt, he is well above the fence, and the purpose was to be able to, or enable children to see the match across the fence. Look at this boy, he's well above the fence and he doesn't even need that, but he's got it. The other person was just the right person to get the box because he just managed to get his head over the fence. And the toddler on the right, the one in purple, you see that that box is of no use to him. Whether you give it to him or you don't give it to him, it doesn't serve any purpose. Now look at this. Equity is when you redistribute resources according to the need. Some people need more, some people need less, because equality is only when you start with the same threshold level, when everyone at the starting point is same, when you are on a level play field. But the world is not playing the game on the level play field, right? So equity is when you redistribute the resources in a way that you meet the need. So here you find that the first person has got no box, he doesn't need it. The second has got one, and the third one has got two, and he's enjoying the match now. This is what is equity. Equity is fairness, being fair, which means access to the same opportunities. We must first ensure equity before we can enjoy equality. So the point here is, when we talk of inequality, we should also address the question of inequity and first focus on equity before we can talk on equality. Now, what do we have? What we must have, sorry. So, I am pointing out to the four very important things. The human rights of all people must be protected and respected. And these are the four major areas to be looked into. First is, we must have security where people living in poverty get support and access to the economic growth. The second point is equal opportunities and rights. Laws and practices do not discriminate or should not discriminate against anyone. The third point is representation in public life, which means disadvantaged and vulnerable people must be protected. And lastly, you must have rights, which people who leave one country to live in another country benefit from laws to protect them. Okay, so these are the four areas which can be focused on when it comes to inequalities. Now, let us have a glance at the goal 10, which says reduce inequality within and among the countries. So, let's first look at the global picture. From 1990 to 2010, income inequality has increased in developing countries by 11%. So we are talking of reducing inequality, but inequality in income is globally increasing at the moment. So it's a very, very critical thing to first stop this increase and then talk about reducing it. Okay, because you can't reduce it till you first stop it. It's going on the increase. Now let's look at within the country, and I'm going to talk a little bit about India. So in India, 27.5% people are multidimensionally poor, which means 1 out of every 4 people is a poor person. The overall literacy in the last decade has gone up by 9.2%, and we saw the average, but that is income, this is literacy. Okay, so different. And 283 million people in India are still illiterate. Another thing is that 86% of the rural population and 82% of the urban population do not receive any health expenditure support. Now, this is a very sad state of affairs, and we all universally need to do everything. So, like what Professor Vivek said, the first speaker, that everyone is responsible. It starts from you, it starts from your family. We have a very, very easy excuse that for every damn thing we have to blame the government. Now, how government cannot do much if it doesn't start from the home. Like what Anjani said, that if the lady in the house, if the mother in the house is not going to teach the daughter how to be independent, if the parents are not going to educate the child, the government cannot do much about it. The government cannot pull the daughter from your house and put her into a school. So government can give you opportunities, but opportunities are not being availed of, and that is an issue that all of us as human beings must address. Now there are some hard facts, and let's just go through a few of them. In 2016, 22% of the global income was received by the top 1%, compared with 10% of the income for the bottom 50%. So where are we going to head for inequality if we have such glaring inequalities going on? In 1980, the top 1% had 16% of global income, and the bottom 50% had 8% of income. Since 1980, large transfers of public to private occurred in nearly all countries. The global wealth share of the top 1% was 33% in 2016, which is not very far away. Under business as usual, the top 1% global wealth will reach 39% by 2050. So we need to really put a stop to it, and this is the way it's going. Look at this. Women spend on average twice as much time on unpaid housework as men do. And I think Anjani has covered that very well. Women have as much access to financial services as men in just 60%, and to land ownership in just 42% of the countries which were assessed in this survey. So, with these facts, what happens is that we come to a very, very glaring inequality, and let's look at what is the income inequality. The income inequality is on the rise. The richest 10%, 40% have 40% of the global income. The poorest get just about 10% and earn only between 2 to 7%. If we take into account the population growth inequality in developing countries, the inequality actually becomes more than 11%. Increased everywhere in recent decades, that is, income inequality has increased everywhere in the recent decades, but at different speeds. It is found that it was the lowest in Europe and the highest was in Middle East. We have to do something as soon as possible to empower lower income earners and promote economic inclusion of all, regardless of sex, race, or ethnicity. And we have to, the situation is such that it demands global solutions, it demands global attention, and it involves every human being's effort, not only some countries, not only the government, but everyone. Now let's look at India and the SDG 10. We are striving to see that no one is left behind. Now that is what we are looking for. The Gini coefficient, and just to explain what is Gini coefficient, it's the measure of statistical dispersion which is intended to represent the income equality within a nation or a group of people. So the Gini coefficient of income inequality fell from 36.8% in 2010 to 33.6% in 2015. The government's emphasis on the Jan Dhan, the Aadhaar, and the mobile programs, the three pronged attack on this, are aimed at a comprehensive strategy of inclusion, financial empowerment, and social security. This is aimed at achieving greater equality and promoting the social, economic, educational, and political inclusion of all by 2030. What here I'm trying to imply is that the Indian government is absolutely coherent and congruent with the sustainability development goals of the UN and is working towards all these goals with determination. Now let's look at some goals in action, because they say pictures show better than words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Income inequality is on the rise. We just covered those statistics earlier, that the richest 10% have up to 40% of the global income. So we need to address this issue. International Women's Day 2021. Here you see women in leadership achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. Though this is a welcome step that you see that things are changing. I have seen in my own life lots of changes have taken place. The attitudes have changed. The women, the poor, the underprivileged, all of them have got much better facilities now than they used to get many years ago. But the problem is the rate at which that improvement is taking place. The rate at which the improvement is taking place is far slower than the rate at which the problems are increasing. So therefore, we need to look at the rapidity of change. That is the crux of the issue. COVID-19 comes as a double blow to those living with HIV. There's some the glimpses I picked up from the internet to show that which are the areas where people are working on these goals and improvements are taking place. This is a women-run school in Nigeria, and there are many such schools which are being run for the underprivileged children. In Nigeria, football builds friendships across communities. Now I am coming to a major point, and that is Nelson Mandela had said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So I cannot and don't intend confronting Nelson Mandela on this quote, but somewhere in my mind, being an army officer, I don't like the use of the word weapon here, because weapon is for destruction. Education is the most powerful tool which you can use to change the world. And I would like all of you, and I know that many of you here are educators, you are reformers, you are transformation agents. Let us look at education as a very powerful tool. Why am I saying this? Nothing can happen if you know, whatever examples we have been taking. Let's take women, for example, gender inequality or income inequality. Now, unless you educate that woman, how can that equality be attained? We will be able to achieve equality and equity only with education, because education is the basic, it is a foundation. I've heard a very good interview on the YouTube, where Dr. Supriya has covered this point so beautifully, that let's educate the women, let's educate the underprivileged, let's educate the rural people, and education is going to be able to make the most important difference. And here, let me just take you back about 50 years. I was a young officer, and in my young officers course, I was asked. Let me stop sharing the screen for a while. Yeah, so I was asked to give a talk as a part of our young officers course, a 20 minutes talk on, and we were given random subjects. So the chit that I picked up said education system in India. There was no Google that time. So you had to sit in a library and search for material and prepared a script, and I delivered. Even 30 years later, when I was reading an article in India Today, I found that nothing had changed in those 30 years. The problems that were being faced by the education system in India were continuing to be the same, with very cosmetic marginal changes. And then, many years later, we got an education policy, but it's hardly implemented. Thank God, today we are lucky that we have an education policy which has come up, which is very welcome. I have found all educationists welcoming this. So recently, I was asked to conduct a school leadership program for 20 selected principals of Pune and Mumbai at the Vijay Bhumi University in Karjat. And that gave me an opportunity to discuss in details with 20 different principals, and they were all very senior principals. What it came to was that the national education policy has been accepted by the educationists very well. One of the principals expressed herself like this. She said, it was something like we were in a jail, in a prison, and we have now been liberated. That was the expression of one of the principals. And when she said this, all the others, all other 19 principals, plus there were a lot of other guests, they all clapped, which means that there is a welcome policy. And this is what I would like to emphasize, that let us look at the inequality a little more holistically, with education being the base, that if your education standards are raised, inequality will be addressed automatically, right? And without that, whatever you do, you may have all types of policies, but if the root level education is not provided, none of those will happen. You cannot have income inequality resolved without education being the fundamental basic resource. So just a couple of points here, that focus on that NEP 2020 is focusing on the socio-economically disadvantaged groups. It is looking after gender, it is looking after socio-cultural, which means scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs and other minorities. It is looking at a geographical part, which is students from villages, small towns and aspirational districts. It is also looking at disabilities, including learning disabilities, and it is also looking at socio-economic conditions, which are migrant communities, vulnerable children, and victims of trafficking. All those areas are also being addressed. NEP 2020 is also focusing on ensuring equity, which means there are interventions like targeted interventions on foundational learning for the socio-economically deprived groups. There are learning outcomes where focus is there on learning outcomes of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and other deprived groups. The special education zones and the CLCs that are coming up for large population of deprived groups. Additional schools are coming up. I was very happy to hear from Dr. Ashok Pandey in a very beautiful presentation on NEP 2020 when he said that about 700 uh, residential schools are being built in rural areas for pre-primary education. Pre-primary education is at the moment in India a privilege of very few selected rich people who can afford in big cities where you have these play schools where children can go and indulge in pre-primary education. Now the government is going to make this by 2030 we will have a large number of rural people going into a residential accommodation so that they don't have to travel, they don't have to commute, they live in a better environment and get educated. So these are some of the very encouraging steps, and we can look forward to a happy future. NEP 2020 is also ensuring equity. And I talked of equity earlier, particularly in gender. Gender Inclusion Fund has been created. You're bridging the gender gap. The girls, there are policies which are targeted at girls, and the curriculum is gender sensitive to be an integral part of the curriculum. So that is all what I had to say. But in conclusion, I would like to say that 2020 has created a gaping hole in the progress made towards our 2030 targets and exposed the failures in our society. In 2021, we need to continue to work together to fight the pandemic and put the goals at the front and center of a just green recovery that leaves no one behind. The global goals are more relevant, more critical, more necessary than ever before. As geopolitics shifts around us, the global goals stand strong, laying out a path through the crisis and beyond, a plan to ensure healthy societies, healthy economies, and a healthy planet. Thank you very much, and I once again thank the organizers and thank all the audience for your very patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us with your wonderful and most informative thoughts, sir. Thank you very much. You, in your session, you talked about the equality and equity. You defined very well both these terms, and you also talked about the income inequality. Yes, which is a very critical issue for us, and we have to address this issue. You also talked about, you linked goal 10 with the sex, race, and ethnicity. And the most important point I here would like to mention that you told about the Gini coefficient. So here I am providing some information related to the Gini coefficient. So this is all about Gini coefficient. In economics, the Gini coefficient, sometimes called the Gini index or a Gini ratio. This is a measure of statistical dispersion intended to represent the income inequality or wealth inequality within a nation or any other group of people. It was developed by the Italian statistician and sociologist Garrido Kinney. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening us with this Gini coefficient. And yes, the session was full of research, full of facts, and full of figures. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to call our next speaker from the land of Russia. And she is Kozulova Maria. Kozulova Maria, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, wow. Here is your beautiful face, looking awesome. And it's really happy to see you here.
Thank you so much.
Dear sir, first please tell me yourself. Actually, we know about yourself. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria. I am an engineer and work skills expert. I want to tell you about the realization of equal opportunities in the world skills competition and how this experience can be used. I would like to note that in the Russia, world skills is not only competition. World skills is a system for preparing highly qualified specialists. This assessment system of preparation quality for whole country. For people who do not know what is the world skills, I would show you this is a ecosystem of the three. Let's imagine that it's a world skills community in a city or region. Roots are the world's best technologies because they continued to grow constantly. Soil is regulation of world skills competition. Rich soil provides cooperation within the ecosystem. The branch of the three are the competence and the leaves are the participants. The interaction of all parts of the ecosystem provides constant development. In order to grow strong forest, you need to plant trees in every city. The world skills competition use the same rules, assessment, and infrastructure for all age group, for the whole country and each region, for different competition in the same region or city, and the same competition in different region or city. For example, it's my competence in prototype modeling. The yellow point indicates the region in which the competition holds now. Then the winner of the region go to the national championship to define best of the best. All regions use the same test project, infrastructure, and assessment system. It doesn't matter what city it is, Moscow, Khabarovsk, Oha, Vladivostok, big or small city, you must follow the same rules. Likewise, it is important for other competence. Gender or race does not affect the ability to compete. If you have the proper skill, you can participate. Now, a person can learn all his life. Education give your comfort. Quality of education makes possible to choose and change your job. Presentation of your success is possible at competition, presentation, or maybe publication, protect by law, opens and access in information, compliance with moral and ethical standard, graduate equal learning aptitudes. I will repeat, plant trees to grow the forest. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Ma'am, my
Maria, that
speech is all.
okay. So that is all your from side?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is Maria from Russia, and actually you addressed in a very short. You addressed for a very short period, so no issue with that. Please email us your PPT, and you can also put the your PPT link to here in a chat box, because we would like to more about your presentations. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you very much, Maria, for joining us from the land of Russia. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. So next, I would like to call our other speaker. She is Rabia Bhatia, the founder of Edge Web Studio channel, the multi-awardee and the Edge leader, the global educator. I would like to call Miss Rabia.
Hi,
Miss
Dr.
Rabia, are you there?
Hi, Dr. Supriya. Hi. Sorry, I think there's some problem with my background. Give me a second. I'll be back. I'll just make some changes, and I'll be back. I think there's some
Okay, okay.
problem. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So ma'am, we are inviting other speaker. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Please do that.
Okay,
Please do
ma'am.
that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So as there is some problem with the screen of Miss Rabia, so I would like to call our next speaker, Dr. Ahiram Raza Khan from the Jamia Hamdard Delhi University. So Dr. Ahitram Raza Khan, are you there?
Yeah, good morning. Good
Yes,
morning,
sir.
Dr. Supriya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are proper audible, sir. Proper audible, sir. It's really nice to see you here.
Yeah,
Thank you very much
so
for
much, ma'am.
joining us, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm really thankful to GPSD for giving me the chance
Yes,
to
sir.
talk. I would like to share, and in between, while listening to these presentations, I had deleted my slides, most of the slides, and went for something new because all the data and facts have been put together by Brigadier Sushil Bhasin Sahab. He was wonderful in putting the facts. Then we had Anjali Pandey ma'am doing it wonderfully. So I'm going to present now and I'm going to put it very simple, make it very simple for the audience also. But I have removed all the facts and all because they've already been presented. I'll summarize them towards the end. And
Okay, okay.
towards the end, I would take where India is standing. We are doing wonderfully well, trying to compete and trying to reach 2030 goals. And inshallah, by 2030, we should be in a very better position before the world. So I'm sharing my screen. Please do tell me if I'm visible also.
So you are a co-host, you can share. Actually, your screen is not it started to sharing.
Okay, ma'am. Just a moment. Yeah, so I suppose I'm visible there on the screen also. So goal number 10, as we have been talking today, it's stressing on reduced inequalities. And I'm Dr. Ehtaram Raza Khan. I am introducing myself. I'm representing Jamia Hamdard. Jamia Hamdard is one of the Center of Eminence awarded by MHRD India. I have 25 years of experience in teaching computer science. I'm a technical speaker, have taken lots and lots of technical sessions. I'm a technical writer. I have 20 plus books and 100 plus research papers to my credit. So this is about myself. I am Dr. Ehtaram Raza Khan representing Jamia Hamdard. So with your permission, I'm starting the slides. So this is my point. This is my mantra. The mindset has to change as we head for inclusive growth. 2030 is asking us for inclusive growth.
Dr. Khan, actually, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yes.
if you have slides and you want to share, so please go ahead. Because we are not, we are not able to see your screen, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, I'll just try it again.
Yeah.
Just a moment.
Okay.
So now
Yeah.
I think it's on the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very
So
much.
sorry, it didn't share in the first instance.
Yeah.
So I'm today talking on reduced inequalities. I'm representing Jamia Hamdard. You must have listened to my introduction already. So let me start. So when we talk about 2030, SDG goals 2030, the most important point towards us would be the mindset has to change. As we have been listening to Dr. Anjali Pandey, where she was talking about the uh, gender inequalities, where she was talking about a male and a female working, the male getting better salaries, the females getting a lot lesser salary for the same work that they have been doing. And she was also very vocal in talking about preparing tiffins for everyone and then going to the office, coming back, and then doing the work again. So this is one of the inequality that is there in the society, which we'll have to look into, we'll discuss as the slide progresses. So our mindset has to change. Whatever laws we can put in the laws, but we'll have to change our mind. We'll have to change the mindset first. So Dr. Anjali Pandey has wonderfully put the situation in focus: salary discrimination, promotions. This is one point which is very important. When a female gets a promotion, there are a lot of suspicions everywhere. How did she get the promotion? Or why is she getting out of due promotion, and so on? So there are so many instances of that. But if a male candidate gets the promotion, it's because of his hard work, whatever good work he's doing. He's wonderfully working in office, he's giving full time to the office and all, blah blah. So this is the kind of discrimination that we are witnessing in real life, and that has been very wonderfully put by Dr. Anjali. I support her in her point: salary discrimination, promotions, and they're always very suspicious when it comes to female counterparts. Then Brigadier Sushil Basin Saab has put the facts very intelligently, and India is in the right direction towards attaining equality. We are working very hard. Our government is working hard. In fact, our people are working very hard. And since independence, we have been doing wonderfully well. Our education system is one of the best in the world. And right now we are moving towards NEP, but NEP is there to make the system better. It was not that we have faults in the system, but we are going to make the system better. And so NEP would be a very welcome phase in the coming time. So inequalities in the terms of rich and the poor. There are lots of discriminations, like in society, there are rich people, there are poor people, and poor are not getting what they actually deserve. That is where the topic is today would be male and female gender inequality. We'll be talking about, I'd be basically focusing on what are the steps that we can take to remove this inequality. Facts and figures we already have from Brigadier Saab. So today, then we'll be looking at the steps, what we can do. So in all, it will give you a very complete picture towards the end of these sessions. You will have the complete picture. Then the developed versus developing countries, there's a lot of inequality between these. If you talk about America, their infrastructure, if you talk about Nigeria, if you talk about some other country, if you talk about our country, the infrastructure and the facilities, everything, they are very different, very unequal in the terms of resources. So that's where my focus would be. So Brigadier Saab has already put this picture, and I'm also going to talk about this. The human rights of all people must be protected and respected. People living in poverty should get the support and access to economic growth. It's their right. They should have the wonderful schools. They should have wonderful facilities. They should be availing the facilities. Then laws and practices do not discriminate against anybody. equal opportunities and rights should be there for everyone. And this is where our country, my country, India, is a wonderful country where we have different practices, different religions, and we are all living very peacefully out there in India. Then disadvantaged and vulnerable people must be protected. Now, this is one of the goals, SDG goals, which is very important. The proper representation in public life should be given to them. Like they should have their representative in parliament, they should be having their representative in constituent assembly and all. So in all, what we are trying to focus is give them better opportunities, give better opportunities to everyone from the society. We should be talking of inclusive growth. Then the fourth point, people who leave one country to live in another country should benefit from the laws to protect them. And that is where migration we are talking about, border issues we are talking about, and the countries they are giving shelter to the people. And once they're giving the shelter, the proper laws should be there to protect them, to give them security, to give them the livelihood and all. So these are the kind of inequalities that are there, which we need to address. Now, my stress is how to fill this gap. What are we going to do? How we should move ahead to have this first point? I said our mindset has to change. We have to change. Literally, it's a male society. It's a male dominant society. We'll have to shift from that strand. We should be moving towards a better society where we should be giving 50-50 to the male and the female. So to address this gap, we should follow a 3-point framework for action. Number one, resources, readdressing women's socioeconomic disadvantage. Women has been at a lot of disadvantage, as I said, from the workplace, from the salaries, from the promotions and all. We should be giving them the equal contribution now. We should be giving them the equal rights now. Second point, respect, addressing stereotyping, stigma and violence. Addressing stereotyping, as I said, if a female gets a promotion, it's like, yeah, isko promotion kaise mila? How did she get the promotion? And she must have done something different to get the promotion. But the same thing if done by a male is welcomed by everyone. He's a very hardworking guy. He's working 24/7. He's doing everything for the company. He's doing everything for the country. And then there are stigmas and violence involved with female. We'll have to address these issues. These are critical issues which we'll have to look and address them. Then the third point, voice. This voice is a point where we should be strengthening the women's agency. We should be focusing on strengthening the women's power. Empowerment should be there. Voice and participation will have to be substantially increased. And this point was raised by my wife while I was about to make my presentation. She gave me this point, like the women education. Women should be given a voice right from the education period. Once she's in education, she should also be taught to raise a voice against anything wrong, against anything which is taking place against her, let's see, against her. She should be vocal to raising her voice against that. So that's where this point should come right from the education point. So when she's studying, she should also be taught. So our targets are, what targets have we set for 2030? By 2030, we should be doing this, and we'll fulfill this. In fact, we should be reducing income inequalities. So we should be working on this. Our countries are working on this. Different countries, we are all focusing on this. We are trying to come up with income inequality reduction. Then we are promoting universal social, economic, political inclusion. As I said, everyone should be given a political representation. Even if one MP, one member of parliament is from a particular very small group of society, then that person would be able to raise the issues, raise the voice. So we should be promoting universal social, economic, and political inclusion of everyone. We should be ensuring equal opportunities and end description. We should be adopting fiscal and social policies that promote equality. Now, this is with economics. We'll have to adopt fiscal and social policies that promote equality. We'll have to improve regulation of global financial markets and institutions. We'll have to enhance representations for developing countries in financial institutions. This point is important. We'll have to give a special weightage to the developing countries because these are the neglected countries. These countries are working hard to get into the frame where they can be called a developed nation or a performing nation. So that's where their representation should be there, whether it's the UN or in other world organizations, they should be given proper representation. Then responsible and well-managed migration policies should be there. Spatial and differential treatment for developing countries should be there, as we just said. So these are the targets that we have set. Okay, we'll be working on these targets to achieve 2030 goals, and by 2030, this goal 10 should be achieved. And as I said, inshallah, we should be able to achieve it by 2030. I do agree 2020 has taken us a step back. We are back by 2 or 3 steps, but always remember, if we take 2 or 3 steps back, we are always ready for a bigger leap. So we'll be going for a bigger leap, and inshallah in 21 and 22, we'll be taking a giant leap where we'll be moving towards a sustainable growth where every section of the society would be equal. So moving ahead with my presentation, these are the facts and figures. I just have kept one slide on this with the red color. Income inequality increased by 11% in developing countries from 1990 to 2010 or 2020. It increased by 11%. So we are working on this. Our stress would be to reduce this because we want everyone to be equal. It's not like a peon and a CEO can be put at equal level. When we talk about equality, it means everyone should be having the basic resources for the disposal. Their kids should be having a proper education. They should have food to eat, and they are in a better state of livelihood. So I'll not take these part, but if you look at these graphs, I want to talk about the number of countries with or without women's right provisions. If you look at the blue color, have they passed the laws on domestic violence? 119 countries have passed the law on domestic violence. 42 countries haven't done it. They passed laws to prohibit sexual harassment? 125 countries have passed the bill, have the laws for this. 36 nations do not have. 34, we have no information. Similarly, have equalized the minimum age of marriage? 132 countries have a law. Guarantee equality between women and men in their constitutions? 143 countries have it, and still 52 countries, they don't have a law for this. This is the data from 2014, might have changed. So this was the figure we already talked about. Everyone should get a sustainable. Now, this is the most important part of the presentation. What are the recommendations that are there for this? There is no simple formula to end or reduce the rich-poor gap. We can take certain steps. Household surveys should be conducted. Quality surveys should be carried out so policy decisions are accurate and relevant. We should be looking into the surveys, household surveys, get the better feedback, and then do a proper analytics on that. Data analytics is helping us right now. As I said, technology will take us to our goals. And as we say, technology, being a technology person, I'm sure AI and everything and data analytics and other ICT tools will help us to achieve 2030 goals. So household surveys is one part of that. We should be doing that. Inflation should be controlled as it increases poverty and inequality. So all the governments in the world, they work on reducing the inflation. And once the inflation is high, it's always very, very expensive in the market and all. So inflation should be controlled. Taxation should be structural weakness in the tax system, reduce indirect taxes, go for a better taxation policy. And I read a report in the newspaper. Someone said only 3% of the people, only 3 crores people in India are paying the taxes, others are just availing the facilities. So this is something which has to be looked into. Everyone should be responsible enough. They should be themselves coming into this fold, and they should be paying proper taxes. This is one of the recommendations. Then create microcredit opportunities, create microcredit businesses so that a poor people can start a business, a theliwala, a tea man, a tea person, or a dhaba, or a restaurant, roadside restaurants. So create microcredit opportunities, enforce minimum wage. This is one of the very vocal point that has been through the trade unions and all. We are talking for enforcing a minimum wage. And once the minimum wage is strictly set by the government and by the companies, this gap between the rich and the poor and will automatically reduce. Create vocational skill centers. This is where we are talking about Skill India. In India, we have started, there's a Skill India where we are imparting certificate courses. People can take up certificate courses and then they can work according to their skills and they can earn money and come at a better strata of society. Free quality schooling to matriculation. This is one of the schemes of Delhi government, as we have seen, Kejriwal government, a free education for all and free schooling for all. And I think this is going to really lift this, and the world should take that example. Greater progress will be made through programs that promote empowerment. As I said, empowerment and technology will bring that empowerment in the society, and that's where we will be moving ahead. So thank you very much. If anyone has a question, I'm ready to take that question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And at the end, after the students' presentation, we will definitely have some questions with the speakers.
Yeah,
At the
definitely.
last, we have a question answers round. Thank you
Yes.
very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, in your presentation, in your whole talk, you mentioned that we have to feel the gap of reduced inequalities, and you also said that how to fill this gap of reduced inequalities. You also show some graphs which are very informative, and you also told that in your recommendation session about the inflation, about the taxation, and I here mentioned that here I am mentioning that you said about the opportunities for microcredit no, sorry, you said that we have to generate the opportunities for the small businesses related to the microcredit. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your knowledge, your efforts, and your figures and facts. Thank you very much for being with us.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. And for the moving ahead, I would like to call my Indonesian friend, Dr. Nurul Farihalla. She is from State Islamic Institute. Dr. Noora, are you there? Dr. Noora? Actually, lots of people today.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, yes. So please switch on your camera if possible.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Here. Yes, here you are. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Wait, I will change the virtual background. Actually, this is here.
So I am making you a co-host. Just wait a minute. So you are a co-host now. You can share the screens if you want. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. You're looking very good and so confident.
Yeah,
and I'm very happy to see you.
Actually, this is I'm waiting since the first speaker already present his presentation. So I think because of I silent too long, my voice a little bit changed. Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mrs. Dr. Supriya. And then today I would like to share about a little knowledge of mine related to the way or the efforts that we as educators want to reduce the inequalities. This is something. Okay, wait. Share screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. Make the slideshow.
Okay. Let me introduce myself first. I am Mahavidyalaya, but also known as Lulu. So anyone who knows me already call me Lulu. So I'm very pleased that if you call me Lulu too, because it is more like we have more connection if you call me with my nickname. Thank you. And I am a lecturer and researcher, also translator. I am from the State Islamic Institute of Lok Sumawe, IAIN Lok Sumawe, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, translator of English, Indonesian, and Acehese manuscript. Acehese is my tribe. So I do some works about Acehese manuscript. It is about old manuscript. So kind of a philology works, but in my case or in my part, I will do the translation of that manuscript. And also I'm researcher of teaching and translation study. So I have done some research about teaching and also translation study. Now I am also managing editor as a Journal of Education and Teaching Linguistic and Literature. This is Jet Li of my university, and also I am one of a reviewer of the Abdi Mas Sosium. This is one of journal in Indonesia with a global one, a community service association. So it is focused on the community service association. And also who have given me the opportunity and connect me to this GPSDS forum. They are Share to Care Indonesian Education volunteer. For special one is Andi Asrifan, Dr. Andi Asrifan, and Dr. Mutmainnah. I am as a division of public relation and cooperation. Thank you very much for him, and thank you very much for Dr. Supriya who invited me for this session. This is my, as I told you, this is my little knowledge about what I want to share you. Reducing inequalities. I take a highlight. It is starting from you and with the simple things. I have heard some discussion from previous speakers who are experts in these things. They especially I heard one sentence from Brigadier Sushil. He said that how can we make change in the world if we don't do something in our home? So actually, I have taken this idea before he told that, but it is connected to my presentation today. Thank you very much, Mr. Brigadier Sushil. Your presentation was very wonderful. That is really give me some sight for my presentation today. Thank you very much. Okay, I would love to play this video first. This is from World Economic Forum. I don't know if it is. Can you hear the sound?
No, dear. Oh, there is no sound.
Okay, maybe I forgot to wait. Share sound. Maybe you all have seen this kind of video made by World Economic Forum, but I want to share it again to highlight about what's happening in this pandemic time right now. Okay. Sorry. This is from the video we can the last sentence it is asked for with us the last sentence they ask if there is any idea you can do to make a difference of this kind of inequalities. So we after we heard some presenters also shared about their opinion about how, what things that we can do, and also they told us some things that we can do in some part in some fields in this kind of things. Yeah, we can see that economic, education, gender, health, political, racial. So there are many equalities that I didn't mention it here, but from some of the from some of the presenters mentioned, and also from the previous speakers, also from the video that we can found, there are some inequalities happening: economic, education, gender, health, political, and racial. But I am, as a lecturer, I cannot, I will not explain you out or tell you more about another kind of things, but I will focus only in education. When we are talking about inequalities, it is happening in all over the world. From the video, there are some differences. It mentioned between UK, from America, and also from South Africa, from Africa. But it also happened in my country. Maybe also it happens in your country. There are some people who are rich, who are poor, and also developed country, and also undeveloped country. So the inequality happen. Here, when we think, when we feel about or we see about the inequality happen, we unconsciously will come across to our mind. We'll think that this is something that government should do. This is something that well people should do. What government do that this inequality happening in our country? What is the contribution of the wealth people? The wealth people. We think about this. This is the big idea first coming to people, that all the inequality should be reduced by the power, by having power. Having power man is government, also the wealth person, wealth people which is rich. But in my opinion, this is not only we relate to the government, also rich people. We can do something, as it's also explained by a previous speaker. When we are thinking about equalities, because it is covered by the power and the wealth also, I make a highlight about education and economic. But again, I will focus on in education only. This is what actually our people or our government have done to make equalities, to reduce the inequalities and make the people equal. They do something like giving a scholarship for the students, for the people, for the students, yeah, for the student in college, since in the primary school until the college, giving the scholarship for them, so they can have they can school, they can have they can study, and then they can have education for the students. And also education cost subsidies. It is what government have done in our country. For the rich people will pay more, and for the poor one will pay less. So this government strategy to make equality in education for our people. And also in economic, for example, economic growth and distribution and economic equalization, this happening also, but I cannot talk more about this. So we move to education. For this kind of strategy that have done by our government, scholarship, but still there are some, not only some, but there are still many students, many children could not have this could not get this chance to get scholarship and also education cross subsidies. As maybe you have also known, in our country, Indonesia, it is a big country who has which has 1,000 island with separate people living in different islands, and also 100,000 people there. So maybe it is, we cannot blame our country, our government, that they cannot do do this kind of strategy or this kind of effort that all people will get this kind of thing. So what we can do as human, as a people, as a person. I will again play a video that you can have an idea how we can do something about people around us, about our society, only not the big one, but a small society first. Okay.
Meet Dewi and Putri, two girls from Indonesia. Dewi's family is rich and belongs to the top 10% of households in terms of income. Putri's family is not as fortunate. They are in the bottom 10% of households, part of the 28 million people who live below the poverty line. Inequality divided these girls even before they were born. Putri's mother did not visit a formal health facility while she was pregnant and did not get the right nutrition. Because of this, Putri was born underweight. Dewi's mother, on the other hand, was able to visit her doctor regularly and get the right nutrition so that Dewi was born with a healthy weight. During her first 2 years, Putri did not receive her full vaccinations and didn't get the right nutrition either. So rather than catching up to Dewi, who continued to grow tall and healthy, Putri fell even further behind. Dewi grew up in a house with clean running water and a toilet. Putri's family couldn't afford a toilet. Because she had to defecate in the open, she got diarrhea frequently. This made her growth even more stunted, while Dewi, who almost never had diarrhea, grew tall. Inequality deepened when the girls were old enough to start school. Dewi got a head start by attending early childhood education classes, which taught her how to learn. Putri, meanwhile, stayed at home. Dewi made it all the way to her high school graduation and then continued on to university. Putri started school too and finished grade 6. But because the extra cost for books, uniforms, and travel were too high, her family could not afford to keep her in school. Instead, they needed her to earn extra income for the household. With her education, Dewi found a job with good pay and benefits. Putri wasn't as fortunate. She had to settle for a job in the informal sector with less pay, less security, and fewer benefits. Without a good job, Putri won't be able to afford healthcare or make sure that her children stay in school. And so, poverty and inequality get passed on from generation to generation. Now, what if we told you that Putri's story doesn't only apply to the bottom 10%? Another 68 million Indonesians in the bottom 40% of households are not much better off. It doesn't take much for them to slip into poverty, a bad harvest, a lost job, an unexpected illness. But it doesn't have to be this way. Let's step back for a minute. What if Putri's mother got the prenatal care and nutrition that she needed? What if Putri had received all her vaccinations? What if her home had clean water and a toilet? What if Putri started school in kindergarten and could stay in school until she graduated from high school? What if she had the chance to build her skills and find a job with a decent wage? This would help not only Putri, but also her family and the generations that come after her. And if other girls like Putri did the same, this could change their communities. And, add it all together, this could change Indonesia. But it all starts with giving Putri and Dewi and other kids like them an equal chance.
It is World Bank, from World Bank video.
Meet Dewi.
We have heard the last questions too here in the previous video. What if? What if this? What if that? What if those? So there are some chance that it can mix, but people around the people who are need that kind of chance, so that they won't be in the same position. That is, in real poverty, there is no chance for education, there is no chance for economic growth. So when we answer about the question, what if Putri's mother first has give birth to Putri in the good hospital. Maybe this kind of problem will not, because Putri is only one of 1,000 people who live in maybe in remote area. But what if the society, the neighbor, let's say the neighborhood, they are educated to help the family like Putri to bring them to the good hospital. And or another maybe another strategy or another way, they can report this kind of problem to someone who has powerful, who is powerful, that they can give something that can help Putri directly. So this is what I want to share you. Actually, all of the change, it comes from you, from ourselves. When we have these kind of things, there is a will from our heart that is care for the people around us. Only a small society, not a big one, for your neighborhood. For example, if you care about your neighborhood, about this kind of small society, you see some things it is not equal, that they need help, they need chance, then it will help them. And also the chance means that the action that you yourself will do after you have the will, and you care for the people around you, you will give the chance for them and for yourself to help them, and they get the help. So do something, not only the will. You said that you care, but you don't do something. It will not happen if there is no change happen. So gives the chance to them who needs help to get help, and also for yourself to make something different. And also this kind of will of chance will not happen also if without commitment. In my experience, here we have when we talk about society, here we have, there it is not like a government society association. There is no it is not legal one. I didn't say that it's illegal, but we do it people by people, only around us. So we come together, make a commitment that we will find who will need our help, and then we make a list. We will do it like maybe once a month. We'll get proposed, we'll make some proposal everywhere to have to collect the fund, and then we commit to help these peoples who need helps, to give them some fund, or maybe any kind of help. So the commitment is between our association and ourselves. And also the consistency means it is not only in one time. After helping one people, and then we have we also want to help not only in small one, in small associate, in small society. We will move to a bigger one. So we here have like we said S3. S3 means like the we said it like sedekah 1,000 sehari. Sedekah is like a charity. It's only 1,000 a day. 1,000 a day. So for for like 1 month, we will collect like 30,000, and this 30,000 is always giving by one people in our association. Now it's like 300 people in our association, only 1,000 a day. So with these small tiny things, we can help someone. I think it is a very small amount, and also there is no problem to give 1,000 to keep it for helping someone in a day. Okay, this the quotation that I made myself. Maybe someone has listened this everywhere, somewhere, but I made it because of my concern about helping my association, helping people with small tiny things. The most important thing is not finding the best or right way, but to try the way you think can contribute something, even it's only a tiny change. So with 1,000, I can say that with 1,000, but with all of people work together, we can make change. So this is the process that we met. Yeah. So this is first from home, from family, just like a previous speaker said, that do something in your home. If I connect it to Mrs. Anjani's presentation, there are inequality maybe between husband and wife. I have done the equality in my home already, because I am a worker woman, and I have 2 daughters. I have they are already teenagers. My husband also work. I have a commitment. It's not like commitment, but like understanding between me and my husband. We have never talked this officially, but it is happening by communication. When I work outside, my kids need some what would I say, some attention in their school, in home maybe, or about houseworks that need to fix some things. Hubby will discuss to me. So we put some works or some equal part in our home. So there is no like Mr. Anjani's experience said about that woman, that I have to work, and also I have to raise my kid, I have to clean my house, I have to no. So we work together. It happens by communication. So I do something by communication in my home. So I make the equality by communication. And then when what to do, what we can do in our college and students. Still do something with your colleagues for your students. As I told you, that there is no it is not all people or all students get the chance of getting scholarship, but we have like in our university we have like what's English? I forgot. Like counseling, yeah, counseling with students. If they get problem, they will tell us. They will share us. So in this case, our college, the lecturer in our, especially in our study program, will discuss together. This student have problems. She cannot pay for example, she cannot pay the school tuition, and what we can do. So we will share, or we can propose this to have a fund for her. Maybe she cannot have, she doesn't have knowledge, or she doesn't have she doesn't understand or doesn't know about how to propose something to get some fund for their condition. So we as a lecturer will do something. We'll make like a proposal, or we I have an association that I told you. We'll tell this to the association that can help this student. So this is not like we have we if we don't reach, we cannot do something. If we don't have money, we cannot help her or the students, but we can do something. Many things can do, just like I inform you that one of the thing that we discuss, we share, and we make a proposal to get some funds for her, like that. And then for the society, I have given you the example that the association S3 that I become one of the member of that. So this society, it is for your information, this society come first only for 10 people, but we spread the information, we spread the advantage, we spread our activities, what this is for. So from 10 people, it becomes more than 300 people right now. And also we also we also make some kind of spreading information in Facebook, in Instagram. So we have this, people will interest to help people, because I believe that all people have that kind of a feeling in their mind, in their heart, to make some chance to when seeing this kind of condition in our surrounding, like that. So by spreading the information about our association, they will come and also have a will to help together with our association. That's all for my presentation that I share you what we have done here. Maybe as I told you, it is not kind of big things, but small tiny things, but it is proof that it makes change. Thank you very much, Mrs. Supriya.
Thank you very much, Noora, for joining us. Yeah. Thank you, Noora, for joining us from the land of Indonesia. Thank you very much. In your talk, you said about the reducing inequalities videos, and I must say your video presentation is amazing. Amazing presentation. Yeah. You talked about the power, wealth, education, economic, and you used lots of keywords, means which are very essential for all of us. You include lots of these keywords. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a very special eminent speaker. So moving ahead, I would like to call Rachna Babar, Vice Principal, Prudence School, Ashok Vihar, New Delhi. Rachna ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, I know you are getting late.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So having said this, it's my extreme pleasure and honor to be here amongst all stalwarts on this warm Saturday morning. And also it's a delight being connecting to partners who are working for a common goal for the people here and also for the coming generations to come. I would also like to place on record the acknowledgement of Professor Vivek, Ms. Anjani, Brigadier Sushil, Ms. Maria, Dr. Raza Khan, Ms. Nurul for enlightening all of us on Goal 10. And as introduction of this particular goal has been well defined by one and all. So I would just quickly like to, go forward. So reduce inequality is of course our goal 10, and inequality is based on income, sex, age, disability, sexual orientation, race, class, ethnicity, religion, and opportunity continue to persist across the world. Inequality threatens long-term social and economic development, harms poverty reduction, and destroy people's sense of fulfillment and self-worth. This in turn can breed crime, disease, and environmental degradation. We cannot achieve sustainable development and make the planet better for all if people are excluded from the chance for a better life. And despite some positive signs, inequality is growing for more than 70% of the global population, excavating the risks of divisions and hampering economic and social development. Furthermore, COVID-19 is hitting the most vulnerable people the hardest, and those same groups are often experiencing increased discrimination. Some examples of inequality, if I would say, so women and children with lack of access to resources and healthcare die each day from preventable diseases or suffer through inequality. Older persons, migrants, and refugees face lack of opportunities and discrimination, an issue that affects every country in the world. 1 in 5 people reported being discriminated on at least one ground of discrimination prohibited by international human rights law. Among those with disabilities, 3 in 10 personally experience discrimination, with higher levels still among women with disabilities, including based on religion, ethnicity, sex, pointing to the urgent need for measure to tackle multiple and interesting and intersecting forms of discrimination. How to tackle this particular area? In today's world, we all are interconnected. Problems and challenges like poverty, climate change, migration, or economic crisis are never just confined to one country or one region. Even the richest countries still have communities living in abject poverty. The oldest democracies still wrestle with racism, homophobia, and transphobia, and religion's intolerance. Global inequality affects all of us, no matter who we are and where we are from. Can we really achieve equality for everyone? It can and it should be achieved to ensure a life of dignity for all. Political, economic, and social policies needed to be universal and pay particular attention to the needs of disadvantaged and marginalized communities. What can we do in this regard? Moving further, reduced inequality requires transformative change. Greater efforts are needed to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger and invest more in health, education, social protection, and decent jobs, especially for young people, migrants, and refugees and other vulnerable communities. Within countries, it is important to empower and promote inclusive social and economic growth. We can ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities of income if we eliminate discriminatory laws, policies, and practices. Among countries, we need to ensure that developing countries are better represented in decision making on global issues so that the solutions can be more effective, credible, and accountable. Government and other stakeholders can also promote safe, regular, and responsible migration, including through planned and well managed policies for the millions and zillions of people who have left their homes seeking better lives due to war, discrimination, poverty, lack of opportunity, and other drivers of migration. Moving ahead, we can see some reasons why we need more equality. Why is it needed? So, I mean, health is, of course, expectancy is shorter and mortality rates are higher in more unequal societies. This applies to both the poor and perhaps surprisingly also to the rich in these societies. Rates of infant mortality, mental illness, obesity are also 2 or 4 times higher in more unequal developing and developed countries. Social relationships, levels of social cohesion. I think one of our eminent speaker has already spoken about it, that including trust and social capital are lower in more unequal societies. Indicators of women's status and equality also tend to be worse. More unequal societies have more property crime and violence, especially homicides. Human capital and development scores on UNICEF Index of Child Wellbeing are significantly worse than unequal countries and decline as inequality rises. Maths and literacy scores are also lower, and more young people drop out of education, employment, training, and more teenage girls becomes mothers. Social mobility is restricted by inequality. Equality of opportunity is increased by greater equality of outcomes. More equal countries tend to have higher rates of innovation, probably because of greater social mobility. Economic progress and stability. Poverty reduction is compromised by income inequality. The International Monetary Fund states that reducing inequality and blustering longer term economic growth may be two sides of the same coin. In rich and poor countries, inequality is strongly correlated with shorter spells of economic expansion and less growth. Inequality is also associated with more frequent and more severe boom and bust cycles that makes economic more volatile and vulnerable to crisis. Coming ahead with sustainable economies, inequality drives status competition, which drives personal debt and consumerism. More equal societies promote the common good. They recycle more, spend more on foreign aid, score higher on the Global Peace Index. Business leaders in more equal countries rate international environment agreements more highly. Inequities between the countries are impairing cooperation between nations and the development of international environment agreements on climate change. For real improvements in worldwide, population well-being, we need more equal societies, which are best achieved by putting democracy at the heart of economic policy and practice. Alongside international and national efforts to create progressive tax regimes and deal with tax avoidance and tax havens, the extension of democracy into economic institutions can have a major impact in reducing inequality. There are a number of simple, feasible measures that nations can take to grow equality alongside economic democracy. And here are a few ways to reduce inequality through economic democracy. I would like to state require by law that all but the smallest companies have employee representatives on company boards and remuneration committees. The proportion of employees on these bodies should be higher in companies with large number of employees. The proportion of employees representatives on company boards and remuneration committees should be set to increase over time, moving eventually to majority control and beyond. This could be achieved by requiring that a small portion of shares be transferred each year to employee control trusts. Before making either of these a legal requirement, conformity with provisions such as these could be made a condition of gaining public sector contracts or lower business tax rates. A major obstacle to developing the democratic sector, cooperative social enterprise, mutual employee ownership, and share ownership business models is the lack of knowledge of possible models among professional, legal, and financial advisors. Governments should promote straightforward routes to employee ownership and establish the necessary legislative support. Government should also provide a training and advice service on how to set up employee-owned and cooperative companies. The government should work out a complete package of measures to grow the democratic sector, complete with tax incentives, sources of advice and support, ready-made rules of governance and sources of finance. The constitution of employee-owned and cooperative business should in all cases to be designed to prevent employees selling their companies back to external shareholders. But yes, of course, government can only give us policies, government can only create infrastructures, but it's we who have to move forward and take a step. So to conclude here, I would like to restate that we can reduce this inequality together, and it is together give our generations to explore the skies without an inequality by following certain targets. Reduce income inequalities, promote universal socio-economic political inclusion, ensure equal opportunities and end discrimination, adopt social policies that promote equality, improved regulations of global financial markets and institutions, enhanced representations for developing countries and financial institutions, responsible and well-managed migration policies, special and differential treatment for developing countries, encouragement, development assistance, and investment in least developed countries, reduce transaction costs for migrant remittances. Having said this, I would like to say that raising awareness on most pressing issue is more important than ever. The purpose of art is to raise people to a higher level of awareness than they would otherwise attain on their own. Moving further with Nelson Mandela's quote towards the end, we must work together to ensure the equitable distribution of wealth, opportunity, and power in our society. I would now like to rest my talk here by thanking all the organizers, eminent speakers, and all the patient listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. And I agreed your thoughts that together we can do. Together we reduce inequalities. And yes, we must work together for reducing these kind of inequalities. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. It's really a very nice listening to you, ma'am. Thank you very much. For the next, I would like to call Miss Sonali Kulkarni.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm Dr. Sonali Karnik.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Sonali Karnik. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Ma'am.
So, ma'am, yeah. So, Sonali, ma'am, means I would like to know about yourself, ma'am, because you are here as a surprise element for us. So, please tell me about more self, ma'am. Yes, please tell me more about this.
Yeah, very first, very warm. Good morning to all of you. You can say, yeah, it's good afternoon, but good morning because I'm talking to you very first. and I'm Dr. Sonali Karnik. I'm working with, am I audible clearly and visible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, clearly. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm working with Shri Cloth Market Institute of Professional Studies, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, as assistant professor commerce from last 14 years, and I worked for social cause also with Abhyas Mandal for personal development and other issues of child and women welfare. And that's why I really want to talk today for this goal plan because it is related to reducing inequality. Because it is the most important and complex issue today that which we should rethink about it. So I'm really thankful to Global Peace Summit organizers, to ma'am you, Dr. Supriya Pathak ma'am, that you have given me equal opportunity today on this topic to talk here. And other speakers, those who have enlightened many issues related to inequality in income, wealth, education, discrimination, financial stability, and that country, all the countries in the world, those who are not treating each other as equal ground. So all these issues are very, very important to discuss. But I have made one presentation, so that I want to play, if you will permit me. And then after I want to discuss on practical grounds this issue because I want that it should be interactive session. And it will be more good. So all the speakers, I'm not calling the names, but all the speakers are very good, and all facts, figures, all issues like Rachna ma'am, Brigadier Sir, Anjali ma'am, and speakers from international Russia, Sri Lanka, all are very good. Indonesia. So, ma'am, I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, ma'am, you can share. You are a co-host, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. If screen is visible, ma'am?
Everyone.
It is visible.
Ma'am, yeah, ma'am. The voice is coming in it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Ma'am, please increase voice also, ma'am. Actually, now the voice is not coming.
Female, all should be treated on equal ground, equal level. Okay, nobody should think I am not equal to another person. So it is not feminist issue. Here, the quote given by Kofi Annan. He says gender equality is more than a goal itself. Okay, it is precondition. It is a challenge to reduce poverty and promoting sustainable development and building good governance. Here we can say another quote given by Emma Watson. No country in the world can yet say that they have achieved gender equality. So still we have to do efforts, we have to think what are the reasons why we are not achieving gender equality. Our Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhiji, he respected, he also contributed on many grounds. He fought against child marriages, sati pratha, parda pratha, and untouchables, which were major issues in India before independence. And after independence, also we are suffering in villages by these all issues. So women should not think themselves subordinate or inferior to men because they are equal, they are having equal powers, equal rights. Gender equality not only liberates women but also man from prescribed gender stereotypes. Why man is thinking, I am powerful, I am confident. No, woman is also confident. So start thinking that all are confident, all are respectful, all are having dignity, all are equal opportunities. Let's think about it. Respect everyone. Give fair treatment. Education is the right of each and everyone. Be peaceful, be open minded, be caring, be supportive. All these things are needed to achieve the goal 10, that is sustainable development by reducing inequality. Let's come on the thought of Angelina Jolie Pitt. There is no greater pillar of stability than a strong, free, educated woman, and there is no more inspiring role model than a man who respects and cherishes women and champions their leadership. So these all things, our mentality should be changed. Equality, we should change our mindset. We should think that we are equal. We should accept it. It starts from our home. It starts from ourselves. If we are thinking we are equal, then we are equal. Go everywhere and fight for your equality. Here we can say both are educated, both are working. So why should not both work at home? Household work should be performed by both of husband and wife equally. No one is superior, no one is inferior. They are having equal half of each. Gender equality, we talk about why woman is asked if she is coming late at night, why you are coming late. We never ask a man when he comes late at night, why you are coming late. So gender equality, equal decision making. 6 barriers of girls' education. This is the next slide. Why the main poverty, lack of safe private girls' schools, violence, long distance schools, gender inequality, and child marriage, which are discussed by my previous and next speakers. So this should be solved. There are some more data, facts, figures, and education is most important thing. So this facts figures I'm not discussing here because already all the facts and figures are discussed, but we have to do action plan. We have to change our mindset. We have to change our mentality to achieve the goal 10. Here in America, like a developed country like America is also facing gender inequality. So just see, it is not a problem of developed or developing country. It is the problem of all of us. It is problem of human being. It is problem of mankind. So let's think differently. Here, one more slide showing both are equal. We can see man, woman, both are equal in one picture. And 2030, we want to achieve the goal, and that is the achieve a gender balanced workforce where in each office, male and female ratio will be equal. Not only men will be there, or not only women will be there. So let's think about it. It is the ratio today is 25%. Women are managing directors. 2020, but 2025, we should try to make it ratio 50-50. Just a minute, pause. Now is the time for women to break the barriers of self-limitation. You can be far more than you ever dreamed possible. So let's think equally. Let's accept you are equal and start working to giving freedom, liberty to each and everyone in your house. Think equally, either it is son or it is daughter. Now one more video will come, one story is there, which I want to share with all of you because it is really inspiring story video And I really want to share today because it is related to our topic Goal 10. It is related to one village and where girl child birth is celebrated. So in nowadays, that is a stereotype thinking that the girl child birth is not good. We are not getting happy in the villages, or traditional families are still wanting the boy child. So just watch the video. Is video is audible to all of you, or it's paused?
No, ma'am. Actually, the voice from the video is not coming.
Okay, okay, wait, I'm doing it. Some technical issue. Is it audible now?
No, ma'am. Actually, there is not any voice from video.
Okay, okay. So, ma'am, it is audible now?
Sorry, ma'am, not audible.
Wait,
Actually, your voice is coming, but from the video, there is no voice.
wait, I'm actually, I think I have to mute myself.
Sorry, ma'am, again, actually the voice is not coming from the video. Could you please share this video? Could you please share this video? Dr. Sonali, are you there? Dr. Sonali?
Hi, ma'am, I'm here. I'm sharing this video. I'm sharing this video.
Okay,
Wait.
okay.
Yeah, it is very good video, but why voice is not coming? It was coming in the morning. And video is audible to me, but it is why voice is not coming there? I don't know.
Anyone who wants to guide to Dr. Sonali? Anyone who wants to guide to Dr. Sonali, please directly message to her why this problem occurs. Ma'am, actually, I would like to request you, ma'am, please, if possible, so please go ahead, ma'am. Actually, the other
Okay, okay.
speakers are waiting.
Ma'am, I'm explaining it with the video. Okay.
Okay.
Here is a village where people celebrate childbirth, and when one girl child takes birth, at a time they plant 111 trees, and now there are 350,000 trees are there in that village. This is a great big story, which I am sharing to you, and so this is a village Iplantri village it is called.
So this is a very good example of this village where when any girl child take birth, so the villagers plant a tree
Ma'am,
to
they
celebrate the birth. Yeah, to celebrate the birth of girl child, right, ma'am?
yes, ma'am. For each girl they plant 111 trees.
111 tree. Okay, okay, okay.
Oh, and
Hmm.
that all trees that taking care of responsibility of taking care of the trees will be given to that girl child's family.
Okay, okay, that's very good. That's very good.
And
I
here,
must say this is a very nice initiative. Most appreciable initiative. And thank you very much, ma'am, for enlightening us about this initiative. Thank you very much.
thank you, thank you very much.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
So uh this is all from your side, ma'am?
Yeah, wait, ma'am. It's 2 minutes if you can give me to discuss.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So here I have shared these things, and I think that on practical ground, we can do something about after this global summit if it is possible for us. So on international level, we can do something on practical grounds. I'm requesting Supriya ma'am to take some action, and it is the main thing that at the family level we should try to be equal. I am asking the question to all of you: if you are a male or female, if you are thinking that you are equal or you are getting equal opportunity from childhood, since birth, uh, or you are giving equal opportunities in your family to your children or any other person, either it is male or female, because woman is always thinking that man is superior. So if this thinking is with you, so I'm asking all the panelists, all the participants, all the audience, if you are thinking that you are on equal ground or you're treating everyone on equal ground. Hello? Hello? Hello, Supriya ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am
So
I
I'm
audible?
asking this to all. Yeah, now you're audible. So I'm asking all this so they can interact regarding the session for 2 minutes if they are accepting, they are getting equal respect, opportunities, or they are treating everyone in their family on equal grounds. So it starts from our side. What this life should be spreaded from our mind, our thinking.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful session. For your all efforts, we would like to thank. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank you very
giving me
much, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Ma'am, could you please stop the sharing?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, I have stopped sharing, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Now, moving ahead, I would like to call again Miss Rabia Bhatia. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm just. Oh, all right. Can you? So actually, I was facing a lot of technical glitches. Can you hear me now?
Ma'am, your voice is audible. Please switch on your camera so that I
Uh,
can capture you.
Ma'am, I've already switched on the camera from the other system. Actually, I have logged in from two systems, one from the phone and one from my laptop as well. So from
Okay.
the laptop, I am on video, and from the phone, I have switched on the audio system.
Okay. 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 Yes.
So I hope I am visible now,
Yes, ma'am, you are visible. You are visible.
and I'm audible also, right?
Yes.
So sorry
Yes.
to all the eminent speakers, and thank you, Dr. Supriya, for your support and cooperation today. I was facing a lot of technical issues, and today's topic is a very, very the topic which is very close to my heart, very sensitive topic basically. And it was lovely speaking to all the eminent speakers, my co-panelists like Miss Anjani, Dr. Rajna, Brigadier Sir, especially Brigadier Sir. I mean, the way he has shared the presentation, it was really very wonderful. And yes, Dr. Ehtiram Raza, how can I forget him? The most important point which he touched was the mindsets have to be changed. So my all the speakers have touched all the points, have shared all the data, facts and figures. Everything has been shared, and the most importantly, Dr. Sunali has also shared a wonderful video about a village who actually celebrate the birth of a girl child. So which is a very beautiful initiative that has been taken by them. And today I'll start my talk. I'll be very brief about my talk, about my views, about my thoughts about this particular topic. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So, my life funda is be the change to bring the change. It is very important to start changing yourself. First, as Dr. Itiram said, the mindsets have to be changed. With the mindsets, our hearts have to be changed. Only the mindsets cannot make any difference unless and until we think from our hearts also. This lockdown, because of this lockdown, we learned so much, and we actually understood the value of our domestic helpers. Most importantly, the domestic helper. The thing is, we all understand that they come from a slum area, they come from different backgrounds. And when we try to respect them, actually, we are taking a step ahead to reduce the inequality. Unless and until we ourselves do not do that, how will we teach our kids? How will we teach our students to do the same? And now, as Brigadier Sir rightly said in the NAP also, that there are so many schools are opening, the residential schools are opening to take care of the students who are from these, particularly the students who are from, especially there are NGOs open, there are schools, residential schools are opening to take care of such kids, to take care of such families. So, but what I believe, it starts from our own houses. Unless and until we don't believe in it, we would not be able to teach the same in the schools as well. My eminent speaker, Dr. Sonali, rightly shared the beautiful video of a village where they are celebrating the child of a birth of a the birth of a child, a girl child. But then celebrating the birth of a girl child, is it actually making a difference in the society also? Are we actually respecting the girl? Are we actually respecting the females? Are these crimes reducing? Can you answer this question? Why the rapes have been increasing? Why this has been increasing in our society? It's not only in India, if I say so. I think across the globe, we have lot of female speakers over here. If they can, support my this thought, I would really be grateful if they can share their, scenario in their own countries. What is happening regarding the rapes? Are we actually able to control the rapes? Then these days, I myself have been experiencing. We all know that we are now digitally equipped, right? And we are loud on Facebooks and LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is very professional site. We for the sake of it, I am getting a lot of stupid messages, nonsense messages on LinkedIn. And today morning, in a public forum on one of my posts, somebody is messaging in the comment section, "I love you, darling." Why? Because I'm a female and I've got an award, and that is the reason I have shared my pictures. Is that what is called the reducing inequality? Why it is happening? Why is it we are allowing such people on the public forums, on the LinkedIn platforms, on the Facebook forums? Why we are not able to do these things? Not able to educate these people that respecting a woman is very important. Only celebrating the birth of a girl child is not sufficient enough. So I think I'm not pinpointing each and every man, but yes, still we are facing such issues. Are we not facing such issues? Talk about the transgenders. Are we able to respect them from the heart? Though the government has made laws, number of laws, but are we able to accept them in the society? No, I think we are still, lacking somewhere because we are not able to respect these people from our hearts. Mindset and the heart have to function together. Only then we'll be able to make a change in the society. Only then we'll be able to reduce inequality. Having said that, giving the political positions to the women, equal political positions to the women, equal salary packages to the women, but respecting a single woman who is divorced is most important rather than giving her the equal salary. Isn't it important? Why the divorced woman is looked as a person who is always available for this men's society? Why is that so? I would like to ask you all, be it a men, be it my men co-speakers or female co-speakers, tell me when we are going to change all this, how we can change all this. Unless and until we change ourselves, we would not be able to go ahead and make changes in the society. You have bets with me, make n number of laws, make n number of policies, but the change has to start from within. We need to change to make the changes in the society. I am not sharing any facts or figures or any data over here. Many of us have already shared those facts and figures. 2030 goal target is to reduce inequality, to reduce gender inequality. But the change has to begin now. And if one person can take the initiative, I think we can all join together to reduce this inequality, to make the change, to make a positive change in the society. So that is all I would like to say here. I don't have much of talk to say, I don't have a presentation to show. I just wanted to share this thing because these things have actually touched my heart. And to be honest, I have already taken a step ahead to work towards this goal. And I want every one of your support to hold hands together and support me so that we can actually bring a positive change in the society, bring a positive change in the humanity, to create that, to build that creative and a peaceful society and spread happiness everywhere to those corners of the world also where the government or the people or the politicians have not been able to reach. That's all about it today. Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya, and thank you so much, Pavan sir, for again giving me a chance to talk.
Thank you very much, Rabia ma'am. And I agreed with your thoughts that we have to bring a change, a positive change in our society. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you. And I must say, last but not least, we have a student presentations from the School of Georgia in the leadership of Madam Tamar. So, Ma'am Tamar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, it's a very nice, and I'm very glad to see you, Tamar ma'am, again. Your presentation, which is on the story of rabbit and what the carrot. Yeah, it's the most appreciable presentation, ma'am. On a April 4, day 4, ma'am. Yeah, and again we have students from that school. Ma'am, could you please tell me about your school and these students? First, please tell the name of that school, ma'am.
The school I work in is called IHS. Just means Georgian English Spanish School. The school is a private one with wonderful objectives and with wonderful students. I'd like my students to talk about themselves, to represent themselves, because this is a wonderful opportunity for them. So what I want to mention here is to thank you, Dr. Supriya, for this opportunity. Ma'am, please mention the name of the students also, ma'am, who are going to means perform. Yeah. Nugzar Bekauri will start. Then Mariam Sobreli will go on. And we have also Anna Kurdaza here. Yes, please go ahead, ma'am. Please go ahead. You are the co-host now, ma'am. Yeah, I do know. Thank you. Nugzar, you may start.
Hello everyone, I'm Nugzar Bekauri from Georgia, and today with my team going to introduce you goals which we are separated by team members Ani Kurdadze and Mariam Sovrani. We are going to talk about the goals which should be solved by 2030. And I want to use that moment and thank you WITCA's organization, Global Peace Sustainable Development Islamic Organization, for giving us that appreciable opportunity, and special gratitude to Dr. Subtian. Well, I'd like to start with women's rights. You become a human rights defender without realizing it, carried by your instinct to protect and shelter. The conditions of women have always been a topic of discussion in history, philosophy, natural sciences, and so on. These problems were reflected differently, with various conclusions being reached. Religion put special emphasis on the role of women in society and family, on their inherent traits, good and bad sides. For thousands of years, women were deprived of the ability to fully express their intellect. Uh, and achieving gender equality in Georgian regions turned out to be harder than imagined. We are faced with a situation where even a discussion of gender equality is not allowed. Where men violate the rights of women, and we encounter many cases for violence against women. Women can be equal to men, hold high positions, have business relationships with intellectuals, and work on important political positions. In the modern world, almost no barriers exist, but women rarely decide to participate in politics or run business. The society slowly rethinks uh, degrading stereotypes of women, particularly that politics is a domain of the strong men. Words, women and politics. Cause several reactions, part of Georgian population think women's place is not in politics, but in the kitchen. Women in politics is a great phenomenon, phenomenon. History remembers many great female rulers to recall from our recent past. Tamar the Great reigned as a queen of Georgia from 1184 to 1213. Presiding over the apex of Georgian Golden Age, her position as the first woman to rule Georgia in her own right was emphasized by the title king. So, if a woman becomes successful, if she has her own income, then she won't be forced to live with an abusive husband. In many cases, women tolerate abuse from their husbands because they have lack of knowledge, lack of self-awareness, IQ and EQ. Due to this, they have nowhere to go and depend financially on their husbands. In families with constant violence, as a result, then uneducated parents is more likely to raise uneducated children, while this goes to inherited. Children become psychological traumatized, which can have severe consequences in adulthood. Fortunately, not only in Georgia, but in almost all countries of the world, improvement is vivid, with the support of many organizations, and especially thanks to the creator of Sustainable Development Goals. This is the purpose of today's meeting, to talk about the current results. And I personally, the future diplomat of Georgia, aim to make the best result for 2030. Uh, I think that self-realization of women in Georgia will eliminate discrimination and bring well-being, healthy sexual life, good education, career development, and mostly important stable families, and raising of good generations. Families without violence and self-realization. Women are the key to a better future. Thank you for your attention, and now I'd like to ask my team member Mariam Sorel to introduce you herself and her speech. Thank you.
So, hello, I'm Mariam Ksoreli, and I'm from Georgia, and I'm a student from IHS. Today I will talk about reduced inequality. So, it's been more than 12 years since Georgia's territory was occupied, and because of that, many families are left on the other side of the border. Some of them have family members here in Georgia, and they can see each other for the reason that it's highly dangerous. There are a lot of cases, people being captured just for being on their own land. I'll tell the story of Tata Grandpa, Abba, who stole many people's hearts. Tata Vanishvili lived in occupied territory, and he didn't recognize the facto Republic of South Ossetia, and openly stated that he was a citizen of Georgia. The barbed wire passed the Shuaf Vanishvili's house in the village of Khorwaliti, when Tata's grandfather was 80 years old. If he had moved to the territory controlled by Tbilisi, he would have become a refugee, and having lost his home where he lived all his life. He and his wife chose to stay in home, and they spent 8 years this way, communicating with the outside world through the wire. Tata Papa himself has been arrested several times for contacting visitors at dividing line and been attempting to cross it several times. Many reporters and even leaders of other countries and diplomats who came to the conflict zone to get acquainted with the situation often stopped in Khorwaliti to talk with Tata Vanishvili through the barbed wire. Throughout the years, he and his wife were helped by neighbors whose houses remained at the part of Jolit village controlled by the Georgian side. At night, they brought them pensions, medicine, and everything they needed. The story has been told by many media around the world, including BBC, National Geographic, and Amnesty International, international non-governmental organization. In the beginning of this year, his health conditions got worse, and last month he passed away. Many remember him as patriot who didn't leave his house simply because he thought it was a Georgian land. Most emotional was when the ones who loved and appreciated Tata, Grandpa who could not groom him, may unknown to him, gave flowers to the family after his death to show respect. This was widely shown by the media, and there was no one being captured by the occupants. In the future, we hope this will cause already reached inequality to be lessened. So that was it. And now my group member will continue.
Hello, my name is Ani Kurdata and I'm a senior student in high school. Firstly, I would like to thank you, Dr. Supriya, for this chance to represent my perspective on inequalities with children who face the problems of getting education and also inequalities with people living in high mountains of Georgia. Locations that I'm going to talk about are Jorge Nakhmeta and Gorshagma. So now on the screen will appear a video. It's about the boy named Alexander Totskolauri. And in this video, we will see how he gets education and what he did for having a chance to learn. As we see, this is the place where he attends the lessons. And his mother says that this is the only place where the internet is available. And this tent was built by Alexandra and his father. She says that she's worried because of the cold weather and connection to the internet. And one day she decided to do something about this, but it turned out that nobody would build a school just for one kid. So Alexander wishes to be educated as other kids who go to school. Even when it's freezing, he still attends online lessons. And sadly, this boy isn't only example of inequalities in Georgia. And many children are kept from the school due to their residential locations. Yes, and now I'm going to represent the problem in high mountains. In Georgia, elderly men are usually the ones facing inequalities in rural areas, and villages across Georgia are emptying as people move to the cities. Due to migration, villages are getting abandoned, and now I'm going to show you the video about the man who lives in Gorjagma, and he's the only person left in village, and his name is Micha. So uh, he's saying that he would rather stay in his home than to move in urban area just to keep the village alive due to his big love for it. And with big poverty and illness, he can't carry heavy things such as water. So to drink and wash, he uses the rainwater or melted snow, and he hopes that people won't take him as a crazy, and he also says that he's just a human. And this man is example for any person to live with goals and wishes, and to never give up, and to have a hope for the future. And younger generation should take example for him to never give up. So Georgians will always fight for a better future. And perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence by 2013. So thank you for listening again, and my member of the group will continue. Mariam, please.
So my next story is about religious minorities. And in my country, there have been a lot of cases of where religious minorities had been oppressed. To these religion groups in Georgia, the government and citizens are indifferent. The patriarchate has never created a problem to build an Orthodox church in any district of any city in Georgia. The Muslim parish, which is the largest group of religious minorities, is the second largest in Georgia in terms of building a mosque over the years. This, of course, is a restriction of freedom of religion. Because of COVID-19 and pandemic, there are regulations in a country, and some of those regulations are removed during Christian holidays, but not Muslim. In 2021, January, there was a controversy between Christians and Muslims. Muslims living in the village of Buknari in Chokhatari demanded the right to pray. They said local Christians have prevented them from doing so. A community member said they bought a private home and set up a chapel to offer Friday prayers. However, Christians physically abused and prevented them from doing it. After the government started taking actions, at first there was no help and result at all. By the end of 14th January, Muslims were allowed to pray. There was a lot of discrimination and lack of tolerance, but nowadays it seems to be lessened. After this fact, many organizations got involved and stated that the events in village of Buknari are not the first case of violation of rights of Muslims. For religious minorities in Georgia, the persecution on religious grounds, physical and verbal violence, illegal interference with implementation of religious rules, and one of the most acute systematic problems. In recent years, with help of United Nations, UNESCO, and other related organizations, the Georgian government was forced to take actions. And let's hope for 2030, the problem with all religious minorities to be fixed. So this is the end, and I want to thank all of you for your attention. And I want to thank Dr. Supriya for this opportunity to take part in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, for your wonderful thoughts. Your thoughts were very amazing. Thank you very much. In your presentation, you mentioned a beautiful quote, which I here like to say, that old minds have power to create history, but the young minds has a power to change the history. I like this quote very much. Thank you very much for enlightening us about this quote. And also you talked about the reduced religious inequalities. So definitely we have to work to reduce this kind of religious inequalities also. Thank you, my dear friend Tamar, for joining us from the land of the Georgia. Thank you very much. And thank you all your students who presented here their thoughts in a very well manner, in a very effective manner. And I must say, the presentation is the most appealing presentation. Thank you very much.
You are always welcome. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And moving ahead, actually, we have a very eminent speaker, Adia. Adia, are you there? Adia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You are here. Yes, you are here. So please review the presentations of these students, and please go ahead with your thoughts also.
Okay. First of all, I would like to greet the eminent speakers and you, Dr. Supriya, and to thank you for this chance. I also want to thank my dear Christina for the invitation. My name is Aida Imamovic. I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I live in Sarajevo. Sarajevo was war, and Bosnia and Herzegovina was war, and this is inequalities. I'm Master of Quality in Religious Education and Professor of Islamic Religions, and I work at the Mechanical Engineering High School. Before my presentation on this topic, Goals 10, I will show you a video film made by the students of my school, film named Perceptions, and by students Ali Kontic, Amina Slatina, and Aldin Hodzic. The film is about stereotypes and cyberbullying against a girl who chose the so-called male school of mechanical engineering. After breakup with her boyfriend, she is exposed to ridicule from her friends and was a victim. So let's see.
So actually, Adia, there is some problem to play the video.
Do you see video?
Samar, can you see the video on the screen?
Do you see video?
No, I think not.
I start again.
Yeah.
I start again. Screen share. Do you see now?
Yeah. Yes. Now your screen is visible. Please play the video.
Okay.
Actually, the voice from the video is not coming, dear. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, please increase the voice.
Now she calls her she's mother and talks with her.
Hej, majko. Hej, draga, kako si? Šta radiš? Dobro sam, majko, kako si ti? Ma evo, još uvijek sam na poslu, ostala nešto da završim, pa rekao malo pauza, pa da te nazovem da vidim šta radiš. Šta rade nana i dedo? Evo, dobro su, hvala Bogu, otišli su malo na kafu, danas je prelijep dan kod nas, pa da malo iskoriste.
I think she is talking to her mother.
Yes, she talks with she's mother about problem.
Vidim, malo se stanje ko popravlja, u ponedjeljak škola, jel ti drago? Jeste.
But because the video is not in English, so we are unable to understand the video, that what is going on in the video.
Pa i jesam, situacija sad je nije baš nešto najbolja. Ma joj, pa to je neka naša standardna svađa, vi ćete se pomiriti za pola sata. Pa ne vjerujem da je baš nešto standardno. Pa što, je li to neki problem ima? Pa, malo je više hladan, nezainteresovan, pun nekih novih izgovora i čak što više mislim da postoji još nešto sa strane. Pa joj, sine, ne znam šta da ti kažem, ne trebaš od toga biti tužna, vi ste mladi, mislim ima će i on još dosta cura i ti dosta momaka, tako da tuguješ sad zbog toga ne ide nikako, sad se pokušaj nekako fokusirati na školu, a sad idem porazgovaraj, ako već ne ide, možda je najbolje da ostanete prijatelji, ružno bi bilo da okrećete glavu jedno od drugog, ipak ste imali neku tu vezicu, bilo vam je lijepo, pa zbog tih trenutaka. Pa ja sam majko isto razmišljala, čak što više i danas da porazgovaram s njim, pa ako ne ide, onda ne ide, bolje da ostanemo ti neki drugovi. Ako ništa, barem da smo tu jedno za drugo. Pa tako i treba, porazgovaraj, možda se i pomirite, možda i odlučite da raskinete, ali prijatelj svakako ostanite i nemoj više da te vidim tužno, molim te. U redu, majko, nemoj se ti nešto sekirati. A kako da se ne sekiram kad te vidim tako tužno, još tako mi daleko, nemoj molim te da budeš tužna. Odoh sad da radim, nazvat ću te, za pola sata ću završiti, pa ću te nazvat da vidim gdje si, šta si i malo da čujem i nanu i dedu. Važi, majko. Eto, ljubim te. Hajde, ljubim ja tebe. Čao.
Neću uspjeti danas stići, nisam nikako mogućnosti, pravo da ti kažem, ono, mama baveza. Znam da kažem, ali nije do mene, pokušavam, brate, da se sastavim, sačekaj.
Now start cyberbullying.
Nisam ove sedmice nikako nagodan, možda kako sljedeće, mislim, pokušat ću.
It's enough. Now she is exposed to ridicule from her friends on Facebook. It's very hard to be girl in men's school. Now she writes in his school and talk about problem with professor. She go to school and shame about that. Communication is the best thing to solve the problem. I hope that you understand the subject, even though the film is not in English language. And now, this is my presentation about this problem. Gender inequalities. 10 goals reduce inequalities. Breaking stereotypes about gender inequality in science and professional orientation. This SDG calls for reducing inequalities in income as well as those based on age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, origin, religion, or economic or other status within a country. The goal also addresses inequalities among countries, including those related to representation, migration, and development assistance. We live in the 21st century when information technology is great. Development, technical advances are evolving very fast, and we are stagnant in accepting diversity among people as if we're living in the Middle Ages. The development of information technology has brought many positive things, but it has brought new problems such as cyberbullying or various forms of violence. The most common inequalities among people are inequalities between man and woman, inequalities between countries, inequalities between rich and poor, inequalities between ethnic groups, inequalities between social classes, inequalities between religions, gender inequalities in science and professional orientation, and others. The most common gender inequalities in science. gender equality in the field of academic work, gender equality from a demographic perspective, gender equality in management, employment, decision making, gender inequality in choosing a professional orientation, and whether girls can choose male jobs. Bosnia and Herzegovina, an example of good practice in breaking the stereotype of equality. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a small country but full of diversity. The capital Sarajevo is particularly specific in that respect. Bosnia is inhabited by people of different nationalities, different religions, and people are very stillborn, like most people in the Balkans. It is very difficult to change stereotypes, but we can do it. Inequality in job choice and professional orientation is common as it is still a patriarchal country. Women usually choose to be housewives or do women's jobs, and men focus on men's. High school and gender inequality. The situation is similar when students choose high school. Usually girls who choose male occupations are exposed to a type of violence, which is now even more pronounced due to social networks. The situation is the same with mechanical schools and other technical schools in Bosnia and Herzegovina. As an example, we present data from Mechanical Engineering High School. The table is in school year 2021. You see a number of students in first grade, 53, and male and females, just 7. Second grade, number of male students, 69, and number of female students is only 5. Third grade, number of students male, 62, and number of female students is 9. Fourth grade, number of students male is 86, and number of female students is 13. After noticing the given problem related to gender inequalities in relation to the number of male and female students, we try to solve it. We make school presentation and educate candidates for school enrollment. Students make films about differences, whether it is about gender or some other, as well as other issue, and we present them on a local television, YouTube channel, or other social media. We hope that the differences in future will be smaller and that everyone will be able to enroll in the school they want without stereotypes. It is wonderful to know that we are all different in this colorful world. Stay healthy, and thank you for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Supriya. This is my presentation. And
thank you very much, Adia. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your video. Actually, it's a little bit tricky to understand the video, but what is going on in the video, we understand what is the problem means related to the gender equality.
The film is about stereotypes and cyberbullying against a girl who chose the so-called male school of mechanical engineering. She wants to go to school, but his boyfriend don't like that. And after a breakup with her boyfriend, she is exposed to ridicule from her friends on Facebook, Instagram, and she was a victim about that.
Yes, I understand. I understand that, yes, this kind of means inequality is everywhere,
Yes,
This kind of
yes.
inequalities is everywhere. I understand. Means in every part of the world, around all the nations, there are the inequalities. Different kinds of inequalities are there. Some are the religious inequalities, some kinds of social inequalities, some kind of income inequalities. And I am very glad that we have addressed these all kind of inequities throughout this whole session. So thank you, Adia. Thank you, our all eminent
Thank you, Dr.
speakers.
Supriya.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
our all eminent speakers, to join around the world to address this critical issue. Thank you very much. And now, as I can see, there is no speakers for today's session, and I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you very much from bottom of my heart. Thank you all the eminent speakers. Thank you all the participants. Because just because of your efforts,
I am here and I've been waiting.
so you are the guest speaker and your session has done.
But you said, no, you said please wait till the end for question answer. That's why I was waiting.
Okay, question answers. Yes, 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 sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. So
I just
anybody
want
who
to
wants,
say one or two things if you permit me.
yes, sir. Yeah, please, sir.
So
Please go ahead.
I want to say that I've heard this entire session and it was very good, very well conducted, and I'm also very happy to see the way from the world over people have come and participated in whatever way they could, whether the video worked or it didn't work, but the messages were clear. So I want to talk about the three main takeaways that I am taking today from this complete day. First is start from home, means start from self. That is the first message that this gives. We all blame the government. We think the government will do everything, but we want to be sitting tight doing nothing else. So unless we start changing from I have to be the first person to change. And if I change, my family changes, my neighborhood changes, my community changes. That is the way you can change the world. The world doesn't change from top to bottom, the world changes from bottom to top. That is point one. The second point, which Rabia said, actually, what Dr. Ithiram said, was change the mindset. And I always say, mindset doesn't really work much. It is a heart set that works. My mind says don't smoke. Okay, because logically it says cigarette in smoking is injurious to health. If I can change that mindset, my heart says no, no, doesn't matter. Take one cigarette won't matter. So when the heart says no, I will not smoke, the change happens there. So let's change our heart set towards inequality. And the third message is, which Rabia said, I liked it. She was trying to modify Mahatma Gandhi's quote of be the change that you want to see. She says, be the change that you want to bring. And I want to further change it to live the change, not be the change, live the change, because people talk about it, they don't do it. So live the change that you want to bring. And the last point I've said in the chat box somewhere, if you all want to follow some real radical transformation, particularly in the field of education, inequality, gender inequality, there is a gentleman called Sugata Mitra, and I put his school in the cloud. Okay, where, particularly from the last video we saw of trying to create a school in a tent, and from the tent in that forest, this is a school created in the cloud. Okay, and the link is there. It's a YouTube video. Please have a look. So thank you very much for this time. I just thought I will sum up the entire day into a package which has given us lot of wisdom, lot of good ideas, and thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you. 100% agree with your thoughts, because today we have a session, lots of knowledge, full of the wisdoms and full of the solutions to reduce the inequalities. And as you said that I am the first person to be changed. I am a very first person to be changed, bring in myself. Only that way we can means bring some kind of changes in our society. First, we have to be changed for ourselves. We have to be make our mind to bring change in our society. So thank you very much, sir,
Thank
for sum up, yeah, for conclusion of the whole session, for concluding very well. And I must appreciate your efforts, sir. You are putting your rigorous efforts to make this summit very successful. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. And at last, I would like to thank Tamar, who is with us from the land of Georgia. Thank you, Tamar, for your efforts. Actually, your students are wonderful. They presented very well. Thank you, Adia, for your story. Actually, you link this story with the social media, with the cyberbullying. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And today we have a very nice speech, very nice presentation from Anjani Tiwari ma'am. Actually, she's speech is just means she is a very pleasant speaker, very pleasant speaker. And actually her thoughts are very amazing, wonderful thoughts she put here. Also we have a Rabia ma'am. Rabia ma'am is means uh, put here very aggressive thoughts, because we have a yes, we have to do something aggressively. We have to put some efforts to reduce these kind of inequalities, because there are various kind of inequalities are there. So thank you very much, all eminent speakers. Thank you, Dr. Khan. Your thoughts, your figures, your research is very means very informative for all of us. And thank you, Brigadier sir, for being with me, for being a Witty Gossip Association. Thank you, all of you. And actually, this is not the end of our summit. Tomorrow is Sunday, and we will meet again for the Sustainable Development Goal 11, which is dedicated to the sustainable cities and sustainable communities. So we are going to address this uh, this issue, the Sustainable Development Goal 11. So please be with us. Please join, because tomorrow is a Sunday. So I think you have enough time to enjoy the session, to enjoy the eminent speakers, to have the beautiful and wonderful thoughts tomorrow. So thank you very much. Thank you for all for joining us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.